We got the dog, baby! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on a happy edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. How do we start off this show? Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time, and of course, it is your time. Bring the passion, bring the excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. You know that this is my favorite day of the week. And what tops it off, what is the cherry on top of the cake? I had another great day at Smart Financial. You got to love that. Great day at Smart Financial. That's always a good thing. Anytime you can get 70 deals, you feel good about being the top rep in the company. Just saying. Maybe I'm patting myself on the back. That's okay. You know why? Because we're on my show on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here's what we got coming up tonight. The return of Harry the Greek, as I see him in the green room there. We'll get his Super Bowl 60 picks. We'll get his thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their latest moves here, hiring a new quarterback coach, Todd Bowles rumors. Yes, we'll do a Todd Bowles check-in. We'll get his thoughts on Mike Evans, Levante David, all that and more. And again, his pick for Super Bowl 60 as it's right around the corner, guys. Football season is nearly over. Well, on the field. Off the field, it's never over here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We'll talk about the Hall of Fame. No Robert Kraft, no Bill Belichick. Really? Wow. How about that? The NFL voters are taking a stand to make the Hall of Fame worse.
That's good enough to suck right there.
That's what Tom Brady's basically saying right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll get your thoughts. And then at 10 o'clock by popular demand, because you guys, you'll never talk Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, which, by the way, they have been on a roll. How about your Tampa Bay Lightning, baby? As they won last night in comeback fashion. So we will talk to the We the Thunder podcast. Shooter and Schooley will be back on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. And as always, we take your phone calls because I love the interaction. I don't want to hear crickets tonight. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I'm in a great mood. Phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. YouTube Super Chats are open. If you like the content, give to the content. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars, I promise I don't bite. You can hit me up on my inbox. Talk to me all night long. I'll try to respond to your messages no matter how late it is. When talking sports, everything else, no, I'm not going to respond to it. I'll probably just go back to sleep. With that being said, let's get the man on here. I missed him on Monday. I missed him last week. My co-host, professional handicapper extraordinaire of this show. Mr. Harry the Greek, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Opa. How are you, Pete?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. I'm pumped up. You know how I get when I have a good day at work. It was a good day at work. So we're going to have a good day, a good night on this show. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Super Bowl 60 on Sunday between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. We got Todd Bowles rumors, the Bucs making a hire as the quarterback coach. A lot of people excited about that. So many things to talk about. Mike Evans possibly leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Our friends there at 95.3, 620 WDAE there on Radio Row with T-Kraz, which I don't know if you guys know this story with me. We have T-Kraz, Tom Krasnicki. We have some history. We have some history together because I tried to produce this show one time when I was at 10:10 a.m. and couldn't do it. Nearly screwed it all up. In fact, I screwed it all up. He had Carlton Davis on, and Davis was talking about the former Buccaneer, now in the Super Bowl with the Patriots, how it's a business move when it comes to Mike Evans. So much to talk about, buddy. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, I see you're starting early. I see you. I don't know.
One more. Just one more.
Well, you go ahead and do that. Let me go read the comments here from the webheads because we like interaction. Let's go out to Boy Wonder. They are on YouTube. Again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web, please. Evening, Peter and crew. I like the quarterback hire a lot. He can learn from Robinson and maybe become a play caller in the future for the Bucs. I'm first. And go Bucs, go Bolts, the hottest team in the NHL. Absolutely. He said, go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs, go Bucs. All right. And also about, let's talk about it. Chandler Whitmer has been hired by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for their quarterback.
Blake.
Yes, Blake Anthony in the building. We're gonna bring back Blake and Blake Sports. By the way, that's coming back, reunited, and it feels so good.
Hurry up, please.
We're bringing that back.
Please, I want to see Blake and Blake. Okay.
Yes, I know you do.
Harry the Greek could be on the sidelines going, "Hey, this is who I like for the evening."
And whatever.
Chandler, that's a little 5-minute spurt with me. It's perfect. Blake and Blake. You started here first.
Yes. Chandler Whitmer, 34 years old now, new quarterback coach of the Bucs. Of course, worked with the Indiana Hoosiers, your national champion Indiana Hoosiers. And Fernando Mendoza, who is viewed as the number 1 overall pick. A lot of people excited about this hire. Once again, Zach Robinson filling his staff here. Ken Zampese. I believe he's the son of Ernie Zampese, a longtime coach there. And, of course, TJ Yates, a former quarterback for North Carolina and also NFL quarterback. So filling those positions, yes, very good, very good. With the production meeting worked out just fine. Whitmer, what do you think of this move here? Of course, work with the quarterback. I mean, it's all eyes are on Tampa Bay. It always starts with the quarterback, and it starts with improving not only Baker Mayfield and his health situation from last year, but also his numbers as they definitely gone down in the second half.
You know, Peter, I got to say, man, have you ever noticed how Tampa Bay's never really attracted the big name coaches unless they traded for them?
Correct.
Okay. What do I think? I don't know enough about these guys to give you an honest opinion other than the fact that I believe they're going to be okay. They have a really good football team, but I'd be more concerned not knowing what the coach is going to do. It's what Mike Evans is going to do, because let me tell you something, Peter, without him in this offense, it's a totally different offense.
How concerned are you? Because we asked the fans the other night.
This one I'm really concerned.
Why are you concerned this time? Because we heard this 2 years ago. You're supposed to go to the Texans. You were supposed to go to the.
This is different, Pete. This is different. This is much different. There was rumors because they were assuming that he wanted to go back to his home state. You recall that?
I do.
No, there's not just smoke. There's fire. Okay, he's wanting a big paycheck. So,
well, going back to it because we talked about this. And
I don't fault him for it.
Right.
Let me be clear. I do not fault him for this.
Well, listen.
But I'd be more concerned about losing Mike Evans than who the OC is for this team right now.
Well, I think the OC is important because, again, the OC is turning around this offense.
But there was nothing wrong with the OC they had. I don't care what anybody says. This team started off what? Come on, say it, Pete. It's cathartic.
6-2.
Okay. And what happened at the second half of the year? Oh, you let a quarterback play that wasn't supposed to play. You were trying to play through a whole bunch of injuries. They changed more offensive linemen than they changed their socks. So let's just throw the frigging offensive coordinator up underneath the bus and fire him. And that was done just to appease you asshat fans out there who kept calling for Todd Bowles' job. Okay? That's why they did it. They had to make a move. But they can never blame it on what it is. Personnel issue. Come on. You can say it. It was a personnel issue, and it was an offensive line issue, and you didn't have your wide receivers. That was the key, and letting Baker Mayfield play through those injuries. That had nothing to do with your OC. I don't give a damn what anybody says. 21st
in the National Football League, you go from a top 10 offense to 21st. Yes, there were circumstances there with Baker Mayfield being hurt in the offensive line. I agree with you on that. And to say they let him play, listen, he gives them the best chance to win. We all know Teddy Bridgewater's a bad quarterback, whether we like it or not.
It's a shame what they did to him. It's the same thing that happened in Cleveland. And if they go year 4, like they did this past year, he won't complete the season. And you know what? You could potentially wash him up. They got to learn to protect this guy, and it's going to be all in the offseason. They definitely need to upgrade that offensive line.
How you protect this guy is you get a guy like Zach Robinson who focuses on the running game, and he's been able to do that.
So did your prior 2 other OCs.
That is correct, but Josh did not.
Listen, man, I have nothing against Josh Grizzard. I will defend the last 3 offensive coordinators with the team. I'm sorry, the last 2, because of the fact that they did like to run the football. And guess what? I just talked about the running backs. I just talked about the offensive line and the wide receivers. What about Bucky Irving going down for how many weeks?
7 weeks. I mean, again,
come on, man.
Well, listen, injuries happen in the National Football League, and this team was snake bit with them all last year. So that's definitely one of the things you got to focus on. But you're exactly right. When it comes to personnel, you got to have more depth, and that falls on Jason Light. And this goes back to Booger McFarland.
Could have had a better quarterback too.
Possibly, but it's not Kyle Trask. I mean, it's not.
No, you didn't have to. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you.
Right.
I'm not going to go down with anybody else. But you could have did a lot better than Teddy friggin' Bridgewater. Okay.
Well, you're probably correct.
Okay, this team started 6-2. Shame on you. Shame on the general manager. Shame on the organization for putting that product out on the field. That team was supposed to make the playoffs. They missed the playoffs to the Carolina Panthers.
Yes,
come on, man.
They did by a couple games. No, listen. I
get very passionate when I hear about this.
I'm not excusing it, but what I will say is
you can bring Kyle Shanahan here and let him be your offensive coordinator.
Well,
and if you had to line up Baker Mayfield behind that offensive line and no Bucky Irving and no 2 wide receivers, I promise you'd have the same God blessed result. And it wouldn't change, Pete.
You're probably right because of the offensive line.
You know what? You stand behind the team. That's exactly what you got to do. But stop blaming everybody else when the obvious problem was what? Offensive line and wide receivers.
Well, it's definitely offensive line, but I don't think it's necessarily wide receivers. I mean, that's where a lot of point of, but also that second half of the year when the wide receivers came back, the offense actually got worse. So that's where they're looking at with Zach Robinson. You come in here, you get a guy, nothing against Grizzard, but he didn't have the experience to call the plays in the first place. Now you've got an experience.
Give him one more damn year, Pete.
Why do that? You can't,
because you're starting all over again.
No, you're not, because you
are.
You got
they don't know they know nothing about this guy.
Zach Robinson has the same basic offense as Liam Cohen. That's the reason why you pick up Zach Robinson in the first place. And you also see what he did in Atlanta with Bijan Robinson. Absolutely, it's a good point. I mean, I'm not saying your point's wrong. You want to keep the continuity, but what do we know about Baker Mayfield? He's had multiple offensive coordinators, but at the end of the day, you've got to get back to your running game. You're exactly right, and that's how you protect a Mayfield. You take the pressure off of him. You don't want him to win you games. I mean, can he win you some games? Yes, he can win you some games, but you got to protect him. You got to keep him upright. You got to run the ball. You got to become a balanced offense. You got to figure out how you can feed Bucky Irving. You got to figure out how you can feed Sean Tucker or whoever else you draft, because Tucker's a restricted free agent, and Rachaad White's goodbye and see you later. Have a nice trip, because he burned his bridge. So again, this hire right here, a lot of people like it. Young offensive mind here. Some people even saying because he's so young and 34 years old, maybe he will develop into an offensive coordinator. And who knows, maybe a coach, because every offensive coordinator that seems to come here, or offensive assistant or coach, usually does pretty well. Josh Grizzard, not so much with the Philadelphia Eagles now, I guess, as their passing coordinator. So we'll see if that helps out. With the Todd Bowles, yes, go ahead.
I didn't have a problem, with having Robinson as the offensive coordinator. Yes, he is going to definitely run the football. We all know that.
Right.
But you're going to have the same offensive mentality with him as Grizzard.
Well, the same thing you're talking
about. And how long did he work with Baker before?
But here's the thing. You're exactly right about that. He worked with him for a little bit, his time there with the Rams. But Baker knew it. Baker also had some, again, he had some pull on this decision. We talked about this. He went to the Bucs. This was his decision. This was a Bowles decision. I'm going to get to that Jenna Lane report about Todd Bowles, because it's very interesting. And then also what we heard from today from 95.3's Jay Glazer, because Jay Glazer was on with T-Crass, so we'll get to that about Todd Bowles, which to the chagrin of a lot of Bucs fans, once again, Todd Bowles is still your coach, and the Glazers love him. So with that being said, though, you're exactly right. Zach Robinson had the same problem with the Atlanta Falcons last year. He went with the pistol formation. Why? Because Penix gets hurt. You have Kirk Cousins, who's not very good. You have a revolving door at quarterback. You had a pretty good offensive line. So I think, again, what you're trying to focus on is, first and foremost, keeping Baker healthy, and you have to improve on what he did in the second half of the year. Injury or not, you can't continue to turn over the ball. That's not injuries. That's pressure in your face, and that's also making stupid decisions, which we have talked about with Mayfield. You love Mayfield, okay, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he's going to want to beat Atlanta and everybody else in the NFC South and improve on that. But you can't continue to make stupid decisions. We've talked about it over and over again when it comes to Baker Mayfield in his career. He's got to improve on that, and you're hoping that this offense, the way this offense turns around, you become more balanced on offense with the running game. You cut down on the turnovers. And once again, you keep Baker Mayfield upright. Seems simplistic, but
it does seem simplistic, but you can say that about every team in the National Football League, i.e., let's look what happened to Kansas City, and they didn't even have as many injuries. They just kind of fell apart.
Correct.
You know, I was talking with Blake ad nauseum about something, and I found it pretty interesting, and I have to agree with him. I mean, I think that they brought Robinson in because I feel, and he thoroughly convinced me, that the Buccaneers are going to draft a quarterback, and he is here to develop them.
Maybe. I mean, maybe, listen, maybe that is something.
Just saying. And you know what? I understand that this guy's really good at developing quarterbacks.
I'll throw this out there. Baker Mayfield is coming up as a free agent. I still think he's your franchise quarterback. But if and only if he does the same thing over again, then everybody gets fired, you clean house, and Baker Mayfield's not brought back, then you're looking at drafting a quarterback. That's certainly possible.
Listen, I love Baker just like the next guy does. I love his spirit. I love everything about him. But damn it, Peter, he cannot stay healthy. And part of being a franchise quarterback is availability.
I agree.
Not because he gives you the best chance to win, and when he's hurt. And a lot of those interceptions because he could barely move his right arm. Pete, it was sickening to watch.
It was not good.
At some point, it was sickening to watch. And part of that had a lot to do with the injuries, but the majority of it had to do with that pathetic offensive line and the general manager not putting a better product in front of him in case things happen. That, my friend, is the real issue. So what are they going to do in the draft? They've got it. Everybody's like, you got to go defense. Let me explain something to you, man. If you don't fix this offensive line and you don't sign Mike Evans,
well, listen, I think
we ain't going anywhere next year.
I think the offensive line is fine. I think you got to get healthy. Bretterson has to get back to left guard because that definitely hurt Barton.
I agree.
They may move Bretterson to center and move Barton to left guard. That's certainly a possibility because we've seen that, and it certainly seemed like whether it was the injury situation or whatever, Barton definitely took a step back, and Bretterson, when he was at center, looked a lot better than Barton when Barton was filling in at left tackle. And then, of course, Cody Mauch at the right guard spot. You've got to get him healthy. You lost both of your starting guards, so of course that's going to hurt your team. But listen, you said it best. Kyle Shanahan, who was the coach for the San Francisco 49ers, got the most out of his team and had all kinds of injuries, more injuries than the Tampa Bay.
Not like the Bucs did on the offensive line, Pete. Let me tell you something.
Well, you lose Nick Bosa on your defensive line.
I said the defense, but I wasn't comparing Tampa's defense to San Francisco. And Kyle Shanahan doesn't do shit about their defense. That was Robert Saleh. Kyle Shanahan, if he had to operate with what Tampa Bay had to operate with, okay, a half a quarterback in the second half of the season, and half your wide receiver core is down, your offensive line is in shambles, and no Bucky Irving, I don't care if it's Jesus. Well, Jesus himself could have coached it to the playoffs, okay? Forgive me, Lord. I did not mean to say that, and I didn't mean
Yeah,
to use
don't
that
say
in
that.
vain.
Don't
But you
say
know
that.
exactly what I'm talking about. Not
Yes.
even Shanahan could have did that. Look, man, I don't see any big name head coaches ever knocking down the door on this team. And all I want to tell is the fans out there in Tampa Bay and across the country, you better get off your soapbox and stop screaming for the firing of this head coach, because it wasn't just his fault.
Well,
Okay?
listen,
Let me be clear.
to put this in perspective, the big name is not always the best guy, right? Like, now go back in history here. I'll go back into a time machine. Tony Dungy was the third choice at the time. I know a lot of people don't like Tony Dungy, but Tony Dungy was a damn good, consistent
Love
coach.
Tony Dungy.
Love Tony Dungy. Been interviewed him a couple times on this show.
That was Tony's team, by the way, that won that Super Bowl.
I'm not ready to say I'm ready to say the defense, but the offense was John Gruden's. Let's not have him have credit about this, because he definitely deserves credit with all the free agents.
Didn't say that, but they were his team. That was his team that he brought through.
It was also his team that couldn't score a touchdown in the NFC Championship game, which is the reason why he got fired in the first place. It was also his team who
I can also blame a good friend of mine with hands smaller than mine who played on that team as a quarterback. Okay,
I know
that was one of the reasons. Let's call it out there. I don't care what it is, and I even told him that he was never Johnson, never was going to be Johnson. I didn't care if he played in John Gruden's offense. He still wasn't winning the Super Bowl with this team. But just wasn't happening.
But here's the thing.
And that man's a friend of mine, and I've told that to him.
Well, listen, Tony Dungy couldn't get over the top there against the Philadelphia Eagles. They brought in John Gruden. I got it. He built this team, culture building coach. They needed a new voice. John Gruden was that guy.
I'm not taking it away from Gruden. I like him.
Here's the point. Tony Dungy was the third choice at the time. Who was the first choice for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers job at the time? Jimmy Johnson. Who was the second choice? Steve Spurrier. They were trying to get Jimmy Johnson. They were trying to get.
Can you believe they were trying to get Spurrier?
At the time, Spurrier was a guy that was a hot commodity.
I know that, but isn't that kind of funny?
It is funny, but he was close to leaving the Florida Gators and going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then it was Tony Dungy. And then you go back to, John Gruden. You make that trade. At the time, it was supposed to be Marvin Lewis. Rich McKay made that choice. It was Marvin Lewis. He went with that coach. Not a big name coach, but at the time, an upcoming candidate. And then they went for a trade on John Gruden. We thought it was going to be Steve Mariucci. It wasn't. That was a smokescreen. It was John Gruden. They went to trade for him. My point is, you go back to it. Big names are not always the thing. Like, this team went for Bill Parcells and got left at the altar twice. It's the best coach that fits your system. Everybody that's enamored with names and this and that and the other thing, I'm just not. And I get what you're saying when it came to Mike McDaniel. McDaniel was interested in the Bucs. He was definitely.
I do recall that.
But here's the deal. He wanted to go to Southern California because his wife's from California and because it's an opportunity to work with Justin Herbert. So there's nothing the Bucs could have did. There's nothing they could have done. They put their best foot forward. They couldn't make the deal because the guy, first, happy wife, happy life. His wife is an esthetician, a licensed esthetician, which I don't even know what the hell that is. Somebody has to.
I'll explain it to you sometime.
Yes, I think it's do nails. She does nails.
No, not quite.
Okay, she's a licensed esthetician in California.
I got a question for you. Who
Yes.
do you think would have been a better for the offensive mind? And it's okay if you want to admit it. Mariucci or Gruden?
I think Gruden.
Honestly.
I think Gruden. I love Mariucci at the time, but I love Gruden. I love his fire. I think he's exactly what this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team needed. And it goes back to what Dwight Smith, I interviewed him a month and a half ago.
Right.
A guy that played in that Super Bowl 37. He just said, listen, doesn't necessarily mean Tony Dungy's a bad coach. It doesn't necessarily mean Mike Tomlin's a bad coach. Even Todd Bowles is a bad coach. Sometimes your locker room just needs a new voice. Now we'll see.
Oh, they got a voice.
They got a voice, a guy that was going to kick ass in John Gruden. But you see what happened is they got too old. The window closed. They won one Super Bowl. They could have won more. Can you imagine if Tony Dungy had the offense that John Gruden did with that defense? You would have won multiple Super Bowls. And more than likely, you have one of the greatest defenses, not just 1 year, the greatest defense of all time with the multiple Super Bowls. If you just have an offense at the end of the day.
Peter, couple years later, Tony Dungy took a lesser talented football team in the Indianapolis Colts to win a Super Bowl. So that is my only defense about it. Yes, he had a better quarterback. And Mr.
Well, they
Peyton
also
Manning.
let Tom Moore. They also let Tom Moore handle the offense. Tony Dungy didn't handle the offense. Tom Moore handled the offense. Peyton Manning handled the offense, and Dungy focused on defense. That was the key.
Listen,
that was the key.
I don't dislike Gruden. Don't misconstrue
I don't either.
it.
I don't either.
Don't misconstrue it. But
I'm
tired of hearing people say, because first off, and to all the people that love Gruden out there, I have a question for you. Name one damn quarterback that he has ever developed. One. Just go ahead. One. Give it to me. Put it in the comments.
Yeah, I like.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's why I compared the Gruden, Mariucci to Gruden. Okay, listen, I love Gruden. I love his fire. I love his passion. But he's not really that big of an innovator of an offense. He usually takes a very experienced quarterback and runs a very ball control type of offense, and he likes to push it downfield. Average. He is not Bruce Arians, not even close to being a Bruce Arians mind in the offense. And you know the way I feel about Bruce Arians.
I love Bruce Arians. I know you don't, but I'm
not a fan of him. But I considered his offensive prowess was even better than John Gruden's.
I want to, you know what? I want to play something really quick.
Sure, go ahead.
I want to play some games here with somebody because I want you to hear what Dwight Smith had to say about Todd Bowles. If I can find it at this point, I'm looking for it right now. But Dwight Smith, this was interesting. What he had to say about Todd Bowles. I want you to hear this. I want to, Adam.
Yes.
What do you think of Todd Bowles? Because right now he could be under the same fire. A lot of Bucs fans, a lot of people say it's not enough to win a division. You know, it's a terrible division, but it's a division you got to win, my friend. You got to win. You got to play those games and win them. It's not enough to win a division. It's not enough to be one and done. What do you think about Todd Bowles? Is that unfair, in your opinion, to Todd Bowles?
Well, first off, he was never going to get a fair shake, right? Because he wasn't really hired. He was handed the job.
Right.
You feel what I mean? So fans were already always going to look for a crack in it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was already starting on the other end, and the only way you're going to quiet that is winning.
Yeah, that's it.
You get what I mean? So you as much as we want to feel for the culture, but we understand the nature of the business.
Right.
Right. When you've been, I'm a University of Michigan fan. Right.
Yes.
So Sharon Moore was handed the job
from Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
Right.
So if you don't, at a certain point, people are going to start saying, can you do the job, or was it just given to you?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So you have to win at some point, or them questions are always going to be there.
So there you go. Welcome back. Let me see if I can get on Harry here. There we go. So, I mean, that's him talking about Todd Bowles. Basically, he had no chance, according to the fans, because he's not emotional enough. We heard from Levante David the other day.
They wanted Leftwich. Do you remember that? Hang on.
Yes.
Where's Leftwich at? He never.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Yes,
there he is. He's still the only reason why people know about him because it's on your sound machine. Because he has never coached again.
He is not.
Right?
He is not. But you're exactly right. They wanted somebody else more emotional. Even Levante David talked about this the other day. And again, this is not a Todd Bowles defending show. I'm just saying, where's the reasoning at? The reasoning is because he's not emotional. The reasoning is because he was given the job. He was handed the job. He didn't earn the job to some Bucs fans. And then on top of it, 2021 divisional round, 0 blitz against the Rams after the Bucs come back. They hold that against them. And of course, the defense, it's not good enough. There's all kinds of things the fans don't like about Todd Bowles. And then the way the Bucs finished last year just added to more of that venom. Now, this is interesting because
hold on, this is funny. I implored someone to tell me who he's ever developed as a quarterback.
Yes.
He said Brad Johnson. Bro, seriously? He didn't know Brad Johnson until he went to the Raiders. Brad Johnson was drafted in 1992, if I'm not mistaken, by the Minnesota Vikings.
Correct.
The actual answer to this is really simple. He's never developed a quarterback.
Well, I will say this.
However, he's good with a veteran quarterback. He's very good with a veteran quarterback.
Rich Gannon he definitely deserves credit for Rich Gannon and then tearing Rich Gannon down and Super Bowl 37. We're on with Harry the Greek. I'm your host, Peter Blake. It's the Sports Web. This is what Jenna Lane.
He completely crushed him. What did Jenna Lane have to say?
She says that a source told ESPN that there were not moves mandated by ownership after the Bucs finished 8-9 and missed the playoffs for the first time since 2019. Lane reported instead the source said that Bowles made these moves on his own. Now, Jay Glazer was asked today by T-Crass. We're shouting him out because they're there at Radio Row doing a hell of a job there in San Francisco. Nick Wise, good stuff there. He was asked about it, Jay Glazer, the Fox NFL insider, about the Glazers thinking about firing Todd Bowles. And he basically said, no, they love him. They absolutely love Todd Bowles as a coach. And we thought, and I still think that the Glazers had something to say about the moves here by Todd Bowles. But again, this is desperation. This is where you have to be. And desperate is not a bad word at this point, because you couldn't finish the way you did. Your job is on the line. Not only Todd Bowles, but even Booger McFarland of ESPN has come to you and said he's taking your point here. He thinks that Jason Light is also on the hot seat. So you've got to make moves. Coach has got to be fired, whether the offensive coordinator deserved to be fired or not. I think he definitely deserved it because of that second half of the year when you get players back and your offense actually gets worse than the first half of the year. That's not good. Your offense is supposed to get better. But it's neither here nor there. You had to make changes. That's the reason why you moved in Zach Robinson. A lot of fans, what they think is that there should be a defensive coordinator brought in. And to that report from Glazer, we heard that the Glazers, I'm trying not to confuse it, but the owners here for the Bucs did call John Harbaugh and check in, and they also checked in with Sean McDermott. So what do we make of all this moving and shaking? Because I've heard some things about them calling coaches, and then they're
listen. I want to start with Jenna Lane.
Yes.
Okay. Just because she reported it doesn't make it true.
Okay.
I know she's your friend, and I don't mean any disrespect, but it doesn't make it true. That's why I don't listen to half the pundits that are out there. Okay. I have my own sources. You and I have talked about that from before. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the Buccaneers kicking the tires on somebody, thank God. Okay, at least they're interested and they're going to kick the tires and see what's available that's out there. Every team should always look to upgrade, because you know what? As Ben Johnson said of the Chicago Bears, he says, I'm going to make him really comfortable being uncomfortable after that year. And to other people that think that, that Todd Bowles took it upon himself to just fire those, his coordinators, I ain't going for it. Okay. I think this came down from up top. There had to be changes. The fans were calling for his job. The Buccaneers heard it. They said, okay, we're going to keep Todd Bowles. And I wholeheartedly believe, Pete, that they do, and they are enamored with Todd Bowles, but they had to make some changes.
And again, I think it's culture. I think it's the culture that he's built. It's tough to compare it to Tony Dungy, but then again, he's won division titles. He's been able to get players to play for him besides last year. I think that's a big thing of the reason why he got the extension in the first place, along with Jason Light. Let's go out to these comments. Whether it's right or wrong to you guys can call up 727-255-0391, 727-255-0391. Okay, I'm here. We can start. Absolutely, Tim. Appreciate you. Yeah. Tim Haynes. We got two Tims back-to-back there. Good evening, Peter. Good evening to you.
Yes!
Brightside Broadway. Hey, Peter. Hey, what's up?
Right,
let's go Buccaneers. Fire the cannons. We will. Eric says, let's go. Let's go. Eric again. Great show today. Great show tonight. Think that's what you mean. Evening, everyone, says Chris Cole. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah. Let's go out to Damn It, Jim.
Damn it, Jim. What the hell is the matter with you?
They could go. What is that? He could go get Bill Belichick, he's saying? I don't know what that is. But Bill Belichick is not in the Hall of Fame along with Robert Kraft. How surprised are you, really quick, about that situation? And do you think that the writers, the voters, are getting back at Belichick for Spygate, Deflategate, whatever hell, Watergate, if you want to throw it out there, along with
this
Kraft?
Gate, that go? Pete, you don't even have to go to a single shot. You know what I think honestly happened? There were players that if they didn't get in this year, they were never getting in. And if you can remind me of the couple of players that have been nominated but didn't get in for the
Ken
past couple of
Anderson was one of them.
didn't deserve it. Who's the
Roger
other one?
Craig.
Roger Craig. Roger Craig definitely deserves to be in there.
Hall
Go
of
ahead.
Fame
Who's the other?
running back.
Absolutely. And if he didn't make it this year, guess what?
Right.
He wasn't making it in again. Who was the other one?
Ken Anderson, quarterback for the.
I thought there was one other one.
I'm trying to think right now, but those are the two guys that come to mind.
But
yeah,
I would have put Belichick in. Okay, way past.
How
Ken
do you
Anderson.
not put Belichick in? He could go down as the greatest coach.
Listen,
of
he's
all time.
making it next year. It's really simple.
I'll
If they
throw it
didn't
out
bring
to
it
you.
in,
I'll throw this out at you. I'll throw it
I
out
don't
at you.
think he's going to be it.
I don't think it's going to be next year. I'm going to tell you what it may be.
Wow.
It may be 2 years from now. And this is the talk here. Kraft didn't get in. Belichick didn't get in. Brady's up for it in 2 years. What if I told you the plan was to basically discipline both of those parties? Some people think it's going to, because Tom Brady's talked about it. He's concerned. Would you keep Tom Brady out first ballot? I mean, I don't think you could do that to Tom Brady.
If they, listen, I would stop watching football if Brady doesn't get in. I understand the Belichick thing, okay? He was a head coach, not a player.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
He is arguably next to George Hallis, right there, if not even better. George Hallis was
Vince
the founder
Lombardi,
of the National Football League.
Don
Vince Lombardi.
Shula.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But nobody's won as many championships as he has.
Right.
Okay. And he deserves to be in. How do you know that Bill Belichick wasn't called and said, hey, man, we're going to hold off 1 year if Roger doesn't get in? What if that ends up coming out? Does anybody ever think about that? No, because the narrative isn't so nice. Oh, that would be the nice thing to do.
I can tell
I'm not saying that's what happened, but it wouldn't surprise me. But Roger Craig, in my opinion, if I was forced to have to pick one of the two, because Roger Craig wasn't going to get in if I didn't vote him in this year, I'm sorry, Bill. I'll see you next year.
I could tell you who probably put it out there. Is Bill Belichick on social media?
That I don't know. Again, I don't really follow.
No, just answer it. Just answer the question. Is Bill Belichick on social media?
I don't know.
Does he know anybody that's on social media? How about his How about his 26-year-old girlfriend? Do you think his girlfriend put it out there?
I don't know. Did she?
Yeah, you got to feel like the Hall of Fame doesn't like the fact you're having leaks out because you're doing the NFL Honor Show and it's always been, very secretive. And now you're putting it out there. All these leaks are coming out. Not only Belichick is not getting in, but Robert Kraft's not getting in. Who's putting it out there for Belichick? There's only one person that's on social media. That's his girlfriend.
Yeah, but have you seen anything that she's posted? I'm not familiar with it. Don't
No,
be so cryptic, tell me.
Well, that's the thing. She doesn't have to post anything. She just talks to the right people. That's all. I mean, that how does somebody find out? That's connect the dots. I would say her, but I'm.
You know what? It probably is. But he'll get a handle on that. But
right.
I mean,
well, he hasn't.
You asked me.
He hasn't gotten a handle on it because ever since she's came into his life has been completely hectic. Did you see the 60 Minutes interview? It'll tell you everything you need to know. I love the fact he's got young love. Whatever. He's 72. She's 26.
But Pete, she loves him.
Of course she does. She loves him and his money and everything else. No, fine. Do your thing. Do your thing. Live your best life. Good for you.
Bro, I took a look at her. I don't blame Bill one bit.
I'm just saying, if anybody thinks she wouldn't have something to say about it when she's had a lot to say about his affairs, including interviews and everything else, think again. Because the social media narrative,
you're probably 1,000,000%. But the question started, would you have done it? And the answer is, if you pushed me into a corner, I gotta put Roger Craig in because he wasn't going to make it.
Now, does this affect Tom Brady?
I don't think so. Come on.
Okay, so then if I'm the NFL to make this right,
the NFL would be, they'll add another player just for Tom Brady. Are you kidding me? They would have to.
To make this right, I would wait another year and I would put in Tom Brady in 2 years along with Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. That's how I would make it right if I'm the National Football League.
Wow, I never thought about that. That would be pretty awesome. The 3 in one time?
How about that?
And then I'd have President Trump bring him in.
Oh, jeez.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Oh,
Let's talk
geez.
about it's a big, beautiful football team.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the comments here. Let's read these comments.
That was funny, though.
Yes, it was. Look, what's good, Peter? What's good, Harry? Glad to see you both. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Again, in about 15 minutes, we will have the Thunder boys there, the Lightning podcast with Shooter and Schoolie there talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are red hot right now. We'll talk about what the game there, the Stadium Series game at Raymond James Stadium, as they were there. Aloha, Peter H. Blake and Harry Berg. Thank you very much. Lamar there from Oregon tuning in. Going to miss Evans if he leaves. Everybody's saying he's going to leave. What's your concern on this from 1 to 10? I back you into a corner right now, Harry the Greek. 1 to 10.
Repeat the question one more time. My audio
What's your
was
concern about Mike Evans leaving?
Big.
So
That's the
10,
difference.
It's an 8 to 9?
It's a 12.
Wow.
It's a 12 because if he leaves, this team is not making the playoffs this year. I'm sorry. It's just not. He is the backbone and the heart and soul of that entire offense. You could talk about Ibuka, Godwin, and the whole 9 yards. Mike Evans is a key piece. You remember last year I said I think he should retire? I take it all back because I see the way this offense ran when he wasn't in the lineup. They're not ready for it.
They're not going to
a 75% healthy Mike Evans is still better than anything that they have on this football team offensively.
All right, we'll get into what else Jay Glazer had to say about a potential player that a lot of Bucs fans would like to have. You're the man, Pete. Blake Anthony, you are the man. It's Uncle Harry right there. Russ Vaughn. Russ, what's going on? Todd Bowles rumors. There you go. You got some Todd Bowles rumors right there. Hey, Harry Berg, good to see you. Broadway says, let's go Bucs. Russ again. Mike's not going anywhere. I mean, we threw that question out the other night. Concern value for Mike Evans leaving the Bucs. Are you concerned about it from 1 to 10? Open phone line 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Play calling. Everyone is out of position.
I got a question.
Blake Anthony says that part is why I blame GM on being cheap and not signing a decent backup. But to that point, and we'll get out to this guy in just a moment, they were hindered by that Brady salary cap after they went all in. Let's get out to this guy right here.
Mr. Kennedy!
Best of the Bay right there, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the Evolution on a happy hump day edition of the Sports Web, my friend. What's going on?
I'm just sitting over here in the driveway, getting drunk, listening and watching the Sports Web across the street from Harry.
Well, that's what listen, that's what it's all about. You get drunk.
Ray.
Curtis gets high and you get drunk. It's a show for all the people to get drunk and get high and listen to the show. At least it's entertaining for you guys to get drunk and get high. Hopefully you don't forget what I say, or maybe you will forget what I say because it is so entertaining. Yeah, exactly. You've already.
What?
Yeah, your old age is starting to set in there, Harry the Greek.
That's good enough to suck right there.
I got a question for both you guys, and then Ray, you can go on with your phone call. I'd like that, but Ray, I want your opinion on this. Are you aware? And nobody's talking about this. I don't know. Are they taking Bad Bunny off of the halftime show, or are they running a different channel with a different halftime show with different artists in Turning Point USA? Can someone tell me a little bit about it? Because I've been trying to read this.
I can tell you Turning Point USA is the alternative to the halftime show from Bad Bunny, and it's going to have Kid Rock and some other artists there, and you're going to have Bad Bunny. So it's going to be an alternative channel.
So are they going to be at the same? It's going to be on the same field?
No, no, it's going to be somewhere else.
It's not NFL sanctioned. No way.
No.
And the thing is, guys, I'll be honest with you. I saw today that the Olympics got underway today, and they had the I don't want to say the tandem, but they had the mixed curling, and I'm like, okay,
I'm gonna bet on curling, Ray, just to let you know.
Stadium there in Milano, and I'm like, oh, but the thing is, they were running. It's on Peacock. Shout out to NBC. Give them a little love for the Olympics. Love they always give. There's like a 7 multi-view where you can watch the two teams on both sides, the actual curling going on. You can have like a close-up of the stone as it rolls. And I'm like, so split up the halftime show. The thing is, all the toilets in the country are being flushed at halftime anyway, and that's always the running joke. So they're splitting the advertising, but I saw that Budweiser commercial, guys, and I think if either of you seen that, I know I put it on my page.
Well, listen, who hasn't seen the commercial for Dude Wipes? Because if you're a WWE fan and you watch Saturday Night Main Event, you saw the commercial for Dude Wipes.
Wipe your ass and take a shower. Who needs that stuff? Give me a break, man. So my question is this, guys: is this going to be on a seriously? And I'm not trying to be political here. So this Turning Point USA with Kid Rock and everybody else, which I'm probably going to, it's going to be a different station.
Yes, it's going to be on Fox, I believe. It's going to be interesting. Fox News. Yep, that's what they're doing.
And how does Bad Rabbit feel about this bunny?
Bad Bunny, I have no idea. But according to Roger,
I see what you're saying. No, the thing is, there's like 18.3% of the 18 to 25 demographic for the Super Bowl. They're not tuning into either Bad Bunny or whatever the alternative channel is. They're actually going to their porn. They're rubbing one out because they didn't get the.
Oh my God, Pete!
The problem is, I see what you're saying, and I get guys. And I get this, but I've sat through some crappy halftime shows. And the truth is, and even when The Weeknd played, which was actually in retrospect, maybe not the worst halftime show.
I liked Weeknd.
It
was good.
I liked Weeknd. Yeah. Prince was my favorite. I don't know about
Prince was
you
the
guys.
best. Prince was the best.
It wasn't even close.
Prince
this one that we had last year, I love Kendrick.
Well,
Look,
I
love Kendrick Lamar. Okay,
I do too.
But after watching it, and then seeing the message, I was like, no bueno, bro.
I get
all you're doing is bringing up more problems. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Remember, Peter, I know you do. I know you do. We're the same age.
Yes, I remember that Super Bowl. It was you talked about Prince, and then it was Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake, which was the wardrobe malfunction. Yes.
Woo!
I believe that was Carolina versus New England, by the way, was it not?
Say what you want.
And
she
Houston?
had a nice titty. That titty was pretty.
Oh, geez.
Oh, stop it. The thing was as old and nasty.
Oh, shut up.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Please, don't ever say that again.
Buddy,
Jackson. What?
Janet Jackson, she's okay. She's not Bill Belichick's girlfriend, bro. Okay?
Bro, listen, I'm sorry. I'm going to take Janet Jackson all day long, every day.
You're crazy.
Over Bill Belichick, okay?
I want Belichick's girl. She's 26 and hot. What are you, crazy?
Hey, Harry, you put Bill Belichick's girl on the alternative channel, and I'll run split screen. I'll throw a Bad Bunny, but I'll put the audio over on Bill Belichick. And you can just have her do karaoke. Have her do like Manic Monday. Something like that.
Just another Manic Monday.
I'll take Janet Jackson in her heyday all day long. I'm sorry. I would.
Listen, I'm a huge fan of Janet Jackson. I just love the way this show, you know what, when the three of us get together.
Oh, geez.
It's all hell breaks loose.
Out of control completely. All right, Ray, what else is on your mind? What did you think about Chandler Whitmer, the new quarterback coach here, 34 years old? A lot of people like this move here. Indiana's quarterback coach developed Fernando Mendoza. It's going to be Fernando. It's going to be number one pick of the Raiders, probably, and Tom Brady there. What do you think of this move by the Bucs?
Sounds like an ABBA song from the 70s.
It was supposed to be that. I'm sorry.
ABBA.
I'm old.
You knew that, Harry. But the fact that this guy worked with Fernando Mendoza. I mean, and the fact that that's such an interesting thing to obviously the development. But I think also it took you had to have a third party come in because you have Ken Robinson, the new OC. It's his deal, but you also had to have an advocate, like a judge's advocate, someone who's also on Baker's side. And you weren't going to go and try to get someone else off the tree, maybe the guy who works the water fountain out there in LA for the McVay tree. But you bring in a guy who's got.
Let's hire him. He'll be a great offensive coordinator.
Stop it. Zach Robinson's a good enough offensive coordinator, checks all the boxes.
I like Zach Robinson.
Robinson kissing Baker Mayfield's helmet like I saw Grizzard doing it last year, because I wanted an offensive coordinator that's 100% a Baker guy, but I don't want a guy that's I want someone also in the middle. And I'll be honest with you, Pete, I want to ask you, and Harry, I think we've already talked about this. Are the Raiders 1,000% going to go? And they're taking Mendoza number one, especially with the hire.
Mendoza. Yes. If they don't take Mendoza, the Las Vegas is going to disown this team.
Well, let's throw this out there because we got the guys coming in here in just a little bit. This from Jay Glazer today about Max Crosby. So the day happened, no less than 20 teams called me and said, "Dude, is this real? Can we get him?" When Max Crosby is, because again, Glazer saying that Max Crosby is done with the Raiders.
He said he's done.
20 teams 20 teams have called and said, dude, is this real? Can we get him? What is it for? And of course, it's Max's decision. Glazer said on Wednesday, the Raiders didn't want to do it, but he was like, I'm not going through another rebuild. So if you're going to get a Max Crosby, you're going to have.
He said he wants to play for a contender.
He wants to play for a contender. So, and
Well, can I
there's
tell you
also,
something, Gary?
yes, go ahead.
I mean, while I was enjoying the sports web here on a Wednesday night, I was also trolling Bucs Live because, that's what we do. And, someone threw out there, they're like, talking about the Crosby. And there was someone that countered with, well, the big contract and also at least 2 number ones. And I get that. That's a big ask. And I'm not even saying I'm in favor of it, but I did have to banter with, what if those 2 number ones are Vernon Hargraves and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka?
Sure.
But you end up bringing in a cat that's actually like Shaq Barrett and gives you that attitude, that edge. I know the guy in Cincinnati is also a free agent, but I mean, these are the types of things that a Jason Light may have to at least look at. And the Bucs, Harry, I think you'll agree, the Bucs aren't pretenders. They're definitely contenders.
Listen, you have to make these moves. Okay. You can't depend on a linebacker coming in here and learning a Todd Bowles defense and having bumps in the road. You've got to get veterans that could come in here, whether Levante David comes back or not. You got to get 2 linebackers. You got to get an edge rusher that could come in here and be productive. And if you don't get that from this Todd Bowles defense, then most likely he's going to be gone. You have
They have to find it though, Pete.
Well,
they have to go.
They have some players out there.
I would love to see
Trey Hendrickson and
I would love to see
Crosby.
one of those 2 DNs playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the amount of money it's going to cost them and the amount of draft picks and possible players, I don't know if this team is at that point. Now, listen, if their linebacking core for Tampa,
let me ask you, when are you at that point?
Well, I was just getting ready to finish my sentence.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Listen, and that's why I prefaced my whole statement in the beginning. I said I would love to see Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson on this team. If the linebacking core was solid, yeah, you do whatever you want and you go get this man. But when they're not, then you possibly have to give up your first 2 picks.
Yeah.
That really hurts this team more than anything. You're bringing a great pass rusher in there, but what's the use if they're all just dumping it over the top of his head? That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Makes sense.
Harry, you make the great point because the thing is, you have to build your linebacking core. But and you made a great point there, but I'll banter with, and Peter, let's ask, and Harry, you and I asked Peter this, the cost, and even if it's Trey Hendrickson's a free agent, that doesn't cost you.
It won't cost you as much. I guarantee it because of his age.
Well, it'll cost you 25 to 30.
The thing is, what I'm asking though is that
I'm not talking money. I'm talking about draft picks.
True. Yeah.
If Trey Hendrickson's $50 million for 2026, but Jason Light knows that pressure can give this defense a chance. I'm asking you, Peter, is it worth not having you tell a Mike Evans or trading a Chris Godwin to make the $20-30 million available to lock that one position down, and like Harry said, still be able to draft your linebacker?
I think you can have both. I think you can restructure some deals. Okay. You can because listen, this and everybody, and I'm going to go full screen on this. Everybody has talked about how the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
I haven't
losing Chris Godwin. You have not, but when Godwin was a free agent, when Evans was a free agent, Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, they are wizards over there at One Buck Place. They know what they're doing. They know how to free up cap. They know how to make money disappear. As I always said on the show, to me, the NFL salary cap is like the national debt, okay? Everybody always talks about it, but there's usually always money there. The Saints, they've been in cap hell for the last 10 years, and somehow, some way, they're able to still spend in free agency if you want to. So they can free up, they can free up money by restructuring deals. Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs. If they signed Baker Mayfield to an extension, guys, they would save $21 million. So here, I'm Jason Light, I'm Mike Greenberg. Hey, Baker Mayfield, you want your guy Mike Evans? Sign an extension for less money. Yeah. Tom Brady, blueprint. $21 million saved. Guess what? We take that $21 million. I know this is not all how the cap works. And again, I failed math in college.
Screen? Peter, are you still full screen?
I'm not full screen.
Okay, because that would have been just way too much ego. But you're 100% right.
Right.
And I'll finish with this, guys. First of all, I'm kidding. But I'll finish with the fact that you're talking about that Baker Mayfield, that next contract, because he's going to go into this 3rd year and, the $100 million, and we're 100% sure this is our guy. You make a great point there. And also, Not trying to tell Baker and Emily, especially now expecting their second child, to try to, but yeah, not only would that go far with being able to let Jason Light make those moves and that Tom Brady formula, but for the other 52 in the locker room, just the 100% buy-in. And I don't think we'd expect anything less from Baker Mayfield, which is crazy, right?
I mean, again, it's crazy to think about, but again, if it does not work out this year, heads will roll, everybody will be fired, and Baker Mayfield may not be brought back because, again, this is the National Football League, and this is where the mistake is made. When you hire a new coach, when you hire a new GM, you should get your quarterback, not somebody else's quarterback. It's going on right now with the Atlanta Falcons as we speak, because when Matt Ryan was asked the other day about Michael Penix because of coming off the injury, he was non-committal about that kid starting because they don't know he's going to be out for the next 9 to 12 months. And also, he wasn't their guy. So this is where, they make this mistake. You hire a Matt Ryan, and you talk to Matt Ryan, and you're like, okay, Matt Ryan, is Michael Penix your guy? Okay, you're non-committal. Then wait a minute. We invested a first-round pick and all this draft capital, and a guy paid this guy, and now we got to go draft somebody else.
Wait,
so,
Peter,
yes.
And the crazy thing is, the thing about Zach Robinson, our OC, the reason why this feels so much more than right, this feels like it was epically meant to be, is the fact that he had to run the pistol formation in the way, and this is the way Penix, and we love this kid, Tampa Tech, local kid, goes to 17 colleges, ends up in Washington and does what he did, but, running that pistol, and you never heard Zach Robinson make an excuse for the reason, and you never heard Raheem Morris make an excuse for the fact that, and which only makes the entire thing with, Cousins and drafting Penix. I still think they have Penix. But you made a great point there. I mean, it's like, yeah, they're blowing up. But you guys, I'll let you go. I apologize.
Listen, Ray, thanks for the call. I'm going to go ahead and finish out too because you got Shooter in the background. I just want to rebuttal the both of you. Okay, you're absolutely correct. Jason Light has been a master at restructuring contracts, but he has had way too many swings and misses. He hasn't developed this team, and he hasn't brought in enough free agents to make this defense a little bit better to accommodate what's going on. Right now, the one that's on the hot seat, in my opinion, is going to be one Jason Light, because if he doesn't get this right, it's night-night, Irene, and that's why I think the Buccaneers are going to draft a quarterback this year. I'm not saying they're doing it in the first round. I think they might be doing this in the middle rounds.
All right. We'll see, my friend. Appreciate the time as always.
Because honestly, nothing has shown us
that
he has the capabilities of bringing in quality free agents. He hasn't done that in a few years, Pete. That's the fair statement. But I have never seen a general manager in my 59 years of existence on this earth re-sign every single player coming off a Super Bowl year. It's never been done, and it probably never will be done. But you know what? For everything that goes up, sometimes it has to go down.
That's why you're dealing with it, because you had the Brady cap hit. You went all in. You did it for 2 or 3 years. The window is closed, and that's another reason why a lot of fans hate Todd Bowles, because that was only Brady's losing season, his last season with Todd Bowles. Really quick, Super Bowl 60, and we'll get out to Shooter here talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'll read the comments in just a little bit here, so stand by. Super Bowl 60, how do you see this matchup playing out on Sunday?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, are we going to get the New England Patriots that have been playing the past couple of playoff games? I don't think so. Or I think so. Or I don't think so. Or I think so. They've gone up against two of the better defenses in all of football between the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. Okay, it's been very hard. Drake May has looked like a very pedestrian type of quarterback. Now they're facing Seattle. That's the third best defense in the National Football League. I don't know, man. You got to like Seattle, but it's too many points. It's 4.5, and it's almost 5 points. I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to play Seattle on the money line. You're going to have to lay a little bit of juice. Find yourself an over or under. Oh, wait a minute. It's dead on. I can't even give you that because I think Vegas got that one correct. This is one of the hardest pick Super Bowls I've ever had to pick. Other than giving you the winner, I can give you the winner and tell you I honestly feel that the New England Patriots are not going to win this football game. I think they're going to keep it close, and I think 4.5 might be too much. So play them on the money line. You make your own decisions on whether you like the over or under. Maybe try to find a couple of prop bets. Bet the tails on the coin flip. Who the hell cares? But you know what I do know it's going to be happening, Pete? You ready?
What's up?
First possession, both teams are going to punt. Put that in there.
All right, so 2 punts right there. It's going to be a slow game. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's an entertaining game. I hope it's not like, New England and the Rams 13-3, some defensive slobber knocker, if you will, that's boring. It's going to put me to sleep. I want to see an exciting football game. And there's some storylines in this game. You definitely
listen, man. If you get the New England Patriots, okay, like I see it in the middle part of the season, they should just walk across Seattle. I don't like what I've seen on offense these past 2 or 3 games, man. It just has not been up to my, satisfaction to watch.
Agree. I completely agree. I think they're going to definitely depend on the running game, and I think that plays into the hands of Seattle. But that's, Drake May, second-year quarterback. A lot of people have talked about him, but you're exactly right. In the postseason, he's definitely struggled. Harry the Greek, appreciate the time as always.
Hey, go talk to Shooter. I see you in the back room, brother. I hope you have a good time and a good talk about the NHL. Go Lightning. I still say they're the best regular season team I've ever seen. I just wish they can carry that momentum into the playoffs. I'll talk to you later, Pete.
All right, there you go. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Let's go out to our sponsors, and then we'll get out to our hockey guy really quick. Of course, it's Tampa Joe's. If you want a place to go watch a Super Bowl, 9316 Anderson Road in Tampa. Great food, great atmosphere. It's Tampa Joe's. And, of course, home of the evolution of sports talk television when it comes to Buccaneer away watch parties. Bucs fans, you show out this year because we'll be back there this year. And, of course, your USF Bulls away watch parties. And then it is also brought to you by, well, where is it? Oh, there it is right there. This. Up the Block Barbershop. You don't have to go far. It's Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road in Holiday, Florida. Whether it's a haircut, a beard trim, a fade, they got you covered. Go see my favorite barber, Ricky, and all the great barbers there at Up the Block Barbershop. Tell them the Rolex reporter, Peter Blake, sent you. Again, it's Up the Block Barbershop, 4946 Moog Road. Let's go out to the phone lines. Broadway, you're on the evolution of sports talk television live here at Raymond James Stadium after your Bucs fall to 6-3. Go. All right, so there you go. And just to give you an update, if you think that we can do a show anywhere and everywhere at any time, you're exactly correct, because we're going to do one at Up the Block Barbershop there in Holiday, Florida. If you like a beard trim, a haircut, a fade, and you want to come out and see me, the evolution of sports talk television, get out there. We'll be out there in a couple weeks. Give me a table, give me my mics, give me my lights, camera, action. The evolution will be there. With that being said, let's go out to this guy right here. Love what these guys do. We have Shooter tonight from We the Thunder. My friend, what is going on? And
yes. We got dueling sound effects.
We do got dueling sound effects. And listen, I always love having you on the show because there's one thing that you told me a long time ago that you said on the show that I take great pride in. You said when you watched the Sports Web, you were inspired by doing your podcast, which has taken off. You do great work with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I completely love it. And I love being an inspiration for your show. And you guys know what you're talking about. You bring your passion, you bring your excitement. You don't bring any nonsense. And right now, the Lightning are a hot team, one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League. I mean, let's talk about it. What, highest watched streaming event here in the Tampa Bay area between the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Stadium Series game there at Raymond James Stadium. You were there. Give me the highlights. Give me the atmosphere. Once again, welcome to the evolution of sports talk television on a happy hump day, my friend.
Yeah, and you're right. I told you that. I was like, I'm trying to do a show like yours, but for Lightning. I'm a hockey guy. I love the football stuff. Hopefully you guys don't, all sign off because we're going to talk a little bit about hockey. But if you live in Tampa, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't live in Tampa, you should start paying attention to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like Peter said, outdoor game on Sunday, unbelievable game, but if you go back, the Lightning have their record in the last 20 games. So this goes back to last year, December 18th. They've played 20 games since then. They're 18-1-1. That's pretty good. And they started the season, I think it was like their worst start under Coach John Cooper. So this team has turned it around. You've got Nikita Kucherov, who's playing like the best player in the world right now. Forget about McKinnon, forget about McDavid, who are the perennial Hart Trophy winners, even though Cooch scores more points than them on most of these seasons. But Cooch has 75 points in the last 35 games. Nobody has scored that many points in the span of 35 games since before 2000. And you're basically talking about Wayne Gretzky when we talk about that in Mario Lemieux. So unbelievable time to be a Lightning fan. Sunday was insane. I told you yesterday, I was like, dude, I didn't even see your message till now. That's how crazy Sunday was. And you aren't the only one. I had like a bunch of people that I just missed the calls and the text. I was just on my path of tailgate, NHL pregame, player intros, then into the stadium. It was the fastest day of my life. I was down there by noon and the game didn't start till 6:30. So it was insane to see basically a Buccaneers atmosphere with everyone tailgating, except they were all Lightning fans. Everyone had their Lightning gear on. And the craziest part, one of the things that I was kind of worried about was, the away fans in Boston, they travel, and you got a lot of Boston fans that live here. Didn't really matter Sunday. It was like 80-20. I mean, sure, they're Boston fans, and it was, one of their original 6 team. So you were going to get Boston fans, but it was a heavy Lightning crowd. And like, we've been thinking about this game for over a year. We've had February 1st marked on our calendar because they announced it back in like December or January last year. In fact, I remember the February 1st last year, making sure that I paid attention to the weather report all day, because I was like, how are they going to pull this game off in Florida? I mean, the weekend before last weekend, it was 80 degrees, right? And February 1st, 2025, last year, it was 80 degrees. Somehow, the hockey gods or the NHL controls the weather made this like the coldest day in Tampa Bay of the year, perfect for an outdoor hockey game. And everything came together. If you're living under a rock and you haven't seen the game, I mean, Brandon Hagel scores 11 seconds into the game, fastest goal ever scored in an outdoor game. And by the way, this is the 45th outdoor game they've played if you're not an NHL fan. So it's not like this is the first time they've been playing these NHL games outside. We just never get the invite because, well, we're in Florida, so it's tough to play outside here. But we never even get the invite for the away games. We did get one in 2022 up in Nashville, where we were the away team, and we were well represented at that game too. But Brandon Hagel lights the lamp 11 seconds in. And then Boston comes back and scores 5 goals. The Lightning were down 5-1 in this game.
Yes.
End up winning it in a shootout thanks to Jake Gensel. And then the whole thing that turned it around was, I love this sound effect.
This is crazy.
That was ESPN when Andre Vasilevsky, the goalie, goes and fights Jeremy Swayman at mid-ice, turned around the entire game. You don't see goalie fights. Like, there was one earlier this year. Before that, it had been 6 years before. This is the only time you ever seen a goalie fight outside. That turned around the game. Nikita Kucherov tied it up with a rocket shot in the third period, went to overtime, went to the shootout. Lightning win. The whole thing was insane. The best hockey game I guess I've ever been to. I guess you'd have to say regular season hockey game, because I did see that in the Stanley Cup here at the then Amalie Arena back in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, again, and the tone is set for me because you got Baker Mayfield, which I know a lot of fans, they're not necessarily Baker Mayfield fans, but this is what you love about Baker Mayfield. You have Tristan Wirfs. I met the man before. He's legit, down to earth. He wants to talk Bucs football. They're leading the Lightning out. And of course, the Lightning are coming out in creamsicle. And the very first thing you hear when the Lightning are down 5-1, they should have not wore those creamsicles. And I'm like, listen, this whole curse thing, this whole nonsensical garbage, the Lightning are going to be able to turn this around. You have Cooper coming out. People are like, why is Cooper dressed like that? I mean, why would you not salute Ybor City and the Cuban heritage and look like Scarface. It's such a cool look by John Cooper. And you talk about Kucherov. I mean, just talk about that, coming out and the creamsicle, of course, led by Baker Mayfield and Tristan Wirfs, because we talk Bucs on the show. And then John Cooper looking like Scarface, acting like Scarface at the end of the game, smoking that cigar with his staff. Just such a cool damn team. And if you don't talk, and listen, I have been told I don't talk about this team enough. That's why I got guys like you that come on here and help me, because I get tired of being criticized. I can deal with it, but I love the Tampa Bay Lightning. I've grown up on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I try to give Bucs fans what they want by talking Bucs. But go back to that intro with the creamsicle jerseys and John Cooper there dressed like Scarface.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'll stay. This is a hockey town. It is a hockey town, but it's a football town. This is still a football state above all others. There's way more football fans than hockey fans. It's Florida, right? That said, it's hockey town. If you didn't believe it before Sunday, you believed it by the end of the game on Sunday. But I mean, yeah, the outfits, the intro. So I was one. I didn't like not the intro, but the walk-ins, right? So I did not make it to go see that live. I had my parade of I had to go to this tailgate, and go say hi to everyone. So I didn't make it over there in time. Everything just happened so fast that day. But I got the pictures. Schoolie, who's not here with me, but that's my co-host, sends me the pictures. And I'm like, I don't like it. The creamsicles, it's going to be bad. And the game started out bad besides that Hagel goal. But I mean, I did kind of like it. I thought it was cool, right? What was cool about it was the Bruins came in like colonial Patriots gear, not New England Patriots gear that we're going to see on Sunday at the Super Bowl, but like colonial, like Boston Tea Party gear, right? So you think leading up to that game, you just think with Gasparilla going on that it's going to be a pirate theme. They're going to be dressed up like pirates. It just makes sense. You saw the field, right? It had the pirate map. It looked freaking awesome. But they threw the curveball. They still were Pirates, but they were Buccaneers in the creamsicle. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a little bad mojo because we know the Bucs don't always play their best and historically in those jerseys, but it was a nice little curveball. And then I think the Cooper thing threw off everyone, right? Yes. It was like, what is this? Was he dressed up like a pimp? Obviously, clearly, you've seen the pictures of Scarface, him and Al Pacino. It was Scarface inspired. He said the coaches, they like to go out to Ybor City. They like to enjoy a cigar. That was the inspiration. These guys don't get the chance to do stuff like this often, right? And have the chance to, wear things like that and do special events like this. So they really, really took advantage of it. And I thought the team and the league going all the way back to like, how the heck are you going to pull this off? Like this is, they just played one in Florida, it's historic, the first ever outside game in Florida. Right. But it was at the Marlins baseball stadium. So if anything goes sideways, if it starts raining, if it's 80 degrees, that roof closes in 15 minutes. Like there's not the option at Raymond James Stadium. Like they had a lot of luck on their side. Honestly, it was too cold for me. It wasn't that bad when you get in there and everyone's in there, right? But I was hoping for like 70 degrees. That's their problem, right? But it just fit the whole atmosphere. Sorry, I was taking my notes from the Greek here on what I should start looking at for this weekend. But
the Greek, the Greek, he doesn't. The last couple of seasons with this Tampa Bay Lightning team, and I know they're on top of the Atlantic Division. Are you surprised because they have injuries early? A lot of people say, okay, until they get to the postseason, it's the same old business. I just don't think. What's different, in your opinion, about this Lightning team besides the comeback victories, besides Kucherov once again playing at an MVP type of level? Because they lose Hedman. Again, they had some injuries, and you would think they would falter. Pointer's out for a little bit here. You also have Sorelli, who's not going to be a part of the Canadian Olympic team there. That's disappointing. So they've had their fair share of injuries, and still they continue to find a way to win. What's the biggest difference from this team this year than you think previous years?
So the Lightning, had made the Stanley Cup Finals 3 straight years, right? 20, 21, 22. And then after that, they still made the playoffs every year, but it was a first round exit every time. So this offseason, as I'm looking at things and I see we're not really making too many moves, we're pretty quiet in the offseason, which is kind of rare for us. I was worried going into the season because I'm like, I always go back and say like, all right, what happened last season? And at the beginning of the season, are we going to be a better team than we were last season? Yeah. And going into the season, and we always do, like our first episode is always with Sonia Bryson Kirksey, who sings the national anthem at the regular games. And she does predictions with us. So we go back at the end of the season, we go back and see who nailed our predictions. One of the questions we always ask is, what is your confidence level going into the season? And mine was like a 5 or 6 because it was like, we didn't really make any splashes. And to me, it's the same team. Now we made some coaching changes that have been pretty evident, but it's the same team. And like, what's telling me that this is not going to be another first round exit? Well, adversity strikes right away, right? There's injuries. The team has their worst start under John Cooper. And really, it was these injuries that have started to push some of these guys in the lineups, which were these very sneaky signings. So a guy like Dominic James gets signed in September, very late September. The season starts in October, at the beginning of October. So Dominic James inserts himself, gets a chance to play in the NHL really for the first time, and makes himself a guy that you can't take out of the lineup. And then you get a guy like Charles Edward Destus, sorry, French Canadian name. That's the problem with covering hockey, is you got to keep up with all these freaking names. But this guy Destus had played everywhere except the NHL, been successful everywhere except hadn't had a chance in the NHL. And all of a sudden, this guy gets in the lineup because we've got Hedman out, we've got Chernak in and out, we've got McDonough out for extended period of time. And this kid comes in and is producing. And the other side of that is this guy that we call the Bald Eagle.
Yes.
And his name is Darren Radish, and it is his second time back with the Lightning. And this dude is almost 30 now and really never just got a chance to play. Just wasn't getting the minutes. And all of a sudden he's forced in the lineup because Hedman out long-term, McDonough out long-term. By the way, both these guys are back now. And Chernak's in and out of the lineup. So they got to have someone play. And Darren Radish cements himself as a guy who's in the running for the Norris Trophy all of a sudden, which is the best defender in the NHL. So this guy's been unbelievable. He's scored in the last 5 games. He scored in the Stadium Series. He scored last night with 25 seconds left to tie the game up with. And what's awesome about how he scores is this is the guy that has the hardest shot in the NHL. He was pissed. We just had Jay Retcher on our show earlier. Jay said he talked to him last night after the game, and he was a little upset because his shot was only 98 miles per hour that went in to tie it. But for so long, and this isn't a slight against Victor Hedman, but for so long they've had Victor Hedman at that kind of QB position on the power play, and he's always done great, but he never had that big, heavy, accurate shot. And Darren Radish has that shot, and he's a right-handed defenseman, which everybody needs a good 1 or 2 of them. And this guy is set to be a unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. We don't know if he'll be on the Lightning next season, but he has earned himself a life-changing contract. And, you know, we're at least going to have him until the end of the season, which hopefully ends with him getting a Stanley Cup. So it's just, they've gotten better by getting some of these guys that we've never even heard of and just giving them a chance to get in the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on with Mr. Shooter himself here of We the Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Peter Blake. It's the Sports Web here on a happy hump day edition. If you have any Lightning questions, he's versatile too. He'll talk some Bucs with you. We may get into some Bucs talk here, but predominantly want to keep this Lightning. We always talk about Kucherov every year. Is this the time where you ask for phone calls, you get phone calls? Let's go out to Mr. Alex Nunster here. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the man himself, Mr. Shooter of We the Thunder podcast, Tampa Bay Lightning. Great podcast here on the Evolution.
Good evening, gentlemen.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
finally talking about a red hot Lightning team. How about another win last night? Who did they play last night? Oh my God, I've been blown up.
Buffalo,
who's very good all of a sudden. They're the second hottest team in the league.
Yes, 21 4-1 record since early December. The Lightning, I believe, 18-1-1 in the last 20 games, one of 16 out of 18, which is amazing in itself. Go ahead.
Hey, well, guys, listen. I know there's a lot of players we can talk about. Starting with the Stadium Series shooter, how awesome was it for Tampa to nail that one basically out of the park, man? Everything that could have went right for that game and that whole thing for Tampa Bay. Was that not like the best Lightning moment next to winning a Stanley Cup that you could ever ask for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm married, I have kids, so I have like prioritize some great moments in my life, but like this is on that list now. Like that was unbelievable. And it's crazy because it looked like it was going to be a sad story, right? We're down 5-1 and they come back. And by the way, that 4-goal deficit that they overcame was the biggest comeback in team history. They'd never come back down 4 goals. But like this team is on a different level. I talked about how, in past years they've had these one and done in the playoffs. This year it's just different. Like they are on such a different level right now that they really, it's just confidence. Like they don't feel like they're going to lose. Like last night is an example. They're chasing Buffalo the whole game. Buffalo scores to take the lead again with 5 minutes left. It's tough to come back with 5 minutes left at the end of a hockey game. Was I worried? No, I just saw him come back about down 4. And like I said, the bald eagle, Darren Radish, they pull the goalie. This guy snipes one from the blue line. They tie it with 25 seconds left. And then 3-on-3 overtime. Nikita Kucherov gets the puck, sends a Hail Mary, Baker Mayfield style, to Jake Gensel, who's been one of the most clutch players. He's the guy that scored in the shootout Sunday to win the game, and they win the game against, again, one of the hottest teams in the NHL. It's like this team's got that feeling right now that they don't lose. They believe in themselves, and last night they were missing their top 3 centers. Braden Point is injured. Anthony Cirelli got injured and sadly will not be playing for Team Canada in the Olympics now. He was out. And then Nick Paul also got injured in the Stadium Series. That's your top 3 centers right there, which is
out in one game.
Yeah, it's super important, especially when you're playing in overtime, where the main point is to get possession of the puck through a face-off, usually, and that's what your centers are there for. So this team and even like during this run, not having Hedman, not having McDonough and other defensemen, it's like nothing's stopping them. So when all these guys come back, hopefully at the end of the season and go into the playoffs, and by the way, Andrei Vasilevsky, who not only is the best goalie in the league right now statistically, but might be the toughest goalie. What's Esposito say the other day?
I didn't know Lavasi was a lefty.
Nope. Nobody knew he's throwing left hooks. But man, this guy, I mean, this team's in position to win another Stanley Cup. There's no doubt about it.
Here's Vasilevsky's numbers here. 15-0-1 over the last 16 games with a .919 save percentage and 2-point goals against average. Yeah, I think you'll take that. Alex, anything else here on the Evolution?
I want to add this too, and I'm going to add this name into the conversation. I know he gets talked about a lot because he's the center of the Bolts. He's basically, in my eyes, the face of this franchise. But how awesome is it to see Nikita Kucherov just at the center of every single thing? That man has just absolutely lit it up this year. And I know we talk about this every year about, his points and he's always leading the Bolts in the most points, if not the National Hockey League. But man, how great is Nikita Kucherov? Always in the center, always making something, whether it's, helping out in the power play, always open at the right time, dude, I watched, I think it was last night or the game before that in the Stadium Series where You can just watch him, and he's already in position to already receive the pass, knowing where to go. And that is just great freaking hockey. So, listen, I do not think the Bolts do not go on this run that they are without Nikita Kucherov and what he has done and meant to this organization. And listen, I know a lot of people were salty when Steven Stamkos left and, at the big face gone. But, man, Nikita Kucherov continues to shine each year and year in and year out. And I love what this team is doing. And we'll see what happens, man. Get healthy, get your centers back, keep playing great hockey, and we'll see how far we go out in the playoffs.
Great stuff, Alex. Use that second call if you want to, my friend. Appreciate you. Yeah, good stuff. Open phone line if you have a Lightning question or a Bucs question. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. We talk about Nikita Kucherov. We talk about it every year, it seems like, Shooter. He's the MVP of the league. You got to give it to him eventually, don't you? I mean, he's playing at an MVP type of level at this point, distributing the puck. We talk about it, a month ago, how if you have a quarterback for your team, it's Nikita Kucherov. And I believe John Cooper was asked that last Sunday, and he agreed. So Nikita Kucherov, MVP, yes, no? Come on, give it to him, NHL, right?
I think they're going to have to. If he catches up with McKinnon and McDavid, who are the perennial MVPs, the Hart Trophy in the NHL, they've got to give it to him because he started off so slow. And that's why the team started off so bad, because he really, and I say slow, the first 15 games, he had 15 points. That's a point per game. That's an all-star level, right? But for him, it's not. And here's to put that in context, last night and Sunday, both of those games, 4-point nights. That doesn't, most players don't sniff a 4-point night in their career. This guy does it casually back-to-back nights. So, Steven Stamkos is always going to have his place in the history books with the Lightning. No one will ever wear 91. You'll see that jersey retired in 5 years. Mm-hmm. But Nikita Kucherov will end up being the best player in Lightning history, whether you like him or not. And here's the thing about Kucherov is that he's the villain in the NHL. Nobody likes him. He did the whole antics at the All-Star game a couple years ago where they had the skills competition, and he kind of made a mock of it and just kind of didn't care. He showed up, but he didn't care. So that they say that's why he did not win the Hart that year, even though he led the league in points. And he was the first player ever that was a winger to get 100 assists in a season. Still didn't win MVP. I think that he also accounted for 70% of the Lightning's points that season or something crazy like that, which, I mean, if you're going to have a most valuable player, what are we looking at? Right. And then the pundits were saying, well, it was McKinnon's turn. All right. Well, if it was McKinnon's turn and it's been McDavid's turn, when's Kuch's turn? And, he's not helping himself because you know what? He loves being the villain. A couple weeks ago, and this isn't the first time he did it, he was getting booed during a shootout. I think it was Philly. We know a lot about Philly fans, right? He's getting booed as he takes his shootout. He casually skates up, scores a goal, and then as he's skating back to the bench, takes off his glove, gives him the shush. The Shusharov. Not the first time he's done it. I'm starting to keep track of NHL cities that have been shushed by Kuch. So he loves to play the villain. It doesn't help him get those votes. But, the other thing is you watch this guy play, and he's not like the McDavid. He's not like the McKinnon. You watch those guys play, and they're faster than everyone else. You can just tell they're a level above. Kuch does it like he's taking a Sunday skate. He does it so casually, and it's so simple, and it's because he's got that Gretzky view of he's one step ahead of you. And he's just that dedicated. So he's not going to play in the Olympics. He's Russian, and he's going to be practicing probably here in Brandon. I doubt he'll take a vacation like he should. He'll probably be practicing and renting ice in Brandon because he's that dedicated to being the best hockey player in the world.
All right, I want to go out to the phone lines here, and I just thought of something here. This actually may be an advantage to the Lightning. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Sports Web here with yours truly, along with Shooter from We the Thunder podcast.
I'm right is in the house.
Wow. You know I'm right. It's calling. It says Derek. So Derek, welcome to the Sports Web, my friend.
Call me, you know I'm right.
All right. You know I'm right. It's all right. You know I'm
All right.
right. This is the first time you've called, but you've been a long
No,
time.
no. Second time.
Second time. All right. This is the second time you've called the show, but I appreciate all the support all throughout the years here on YouTube. So what's on your mind tonight, boss?
I don't know if you have a Sean Avery's Instagram shooter, but
I do.
on a storyline he put out today, he called Kucherov the best player ever.
He loves Cooch. Yeah, he'll frequently highlight and do stories on and just showing his highlights.
Oh yeah, he said ever. He said best player ever, man.
Wow. That's a wow. You got Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux. I mean, there's some players there. Yeah.
There's a few statistics where it's Cooch, Gretzky, Lemieux, and they're the only players that have done it. Like, that's how good this guy is. I don't think people really realize it because, again, he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he does. Yep. He really does.
He's a magician. That's what he is. The best way to describe him is he's a magician on skates, and he slows it down, and he just makes that puck disappear and reappear in the right spots.
All right, my friend. What else?
I was gonna, I love you, Greek, but man, you don't know nothing about hockey, dude. You don't know nothing about hockey, so don't be saying that shit, man. Okay.
Well, I think what Greek means is the last couple of years when they faced Florida, which again,
the champs,
right?
Yeah,
the champs, right? Exactly. They've been eliminated, but I think that's what his point is, not overall, but. I agree with you. What the Lightning have been able to do the last 5 to 7 to 10 years has been amazing. The consistency. John Cooper should have won already a Coach of the Year, and the players, the talent that they've had has been amazing, especially in the postseason. Florida or not, the run they've gone on to have 3 Stanley Cups and their franchise history is amazing. And again, they're one of the top, if not the top, sports organizations out there in all professional sports. The Tampa Bay Lightning, love them.
And you might see another one this year. And another interesting point you should bring up, Mr. Shooter, is this third line with Gergensen, Holmberg, and Gani Gord are just those guys wreak havoc when they're out there, man. Bring that up, man.
Yeah, I love it. You know I'm right. Use that second call. Don't be a stranger, my friend. Okay.
All right. Nice talking to you. Go Bucs, go Bolts, go Rays, go USF, even though I didn't go to that college. Take care, you guys.
I love it. So there you go. All right, good stuff there. You know I'm right. He went all Tampa. That's what we do here. Let's go out to this guy.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell is the matter with you?
Jim, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind tonight? We're talking Lightning hockey. Yes, you're on the phone. Yes, people on the phone there, you got to turn down your radio or turn down your turn down your radio, turn down your phone. I can hear you just fine. Yes, talk to me, Jim.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get up there, get me some hockey tickets. I should have went to the Tampa game.
Well, you absolutely. If you're going to go to a Tampa game, pick that one that's outside. Even though it's cold, I would have definitely braved the elements. That's for sure.
I live in Ohio. It ain't cold. We had 1 degree.
Listen, we've been through this. Okay, you're not gonna browbeat me with this nonsense. This northern elitist nonsense. Okay, I told you this. When you're from Florida, you're like a chihuahua when it comes to coldness. You don't have the fur to deal with it, and I don't.
I know. I used to live down there in Sarasota. I remember when I got down to what? It was down to like 50 degrees. I thought I was freezing my butt off.
That's it, man. Don't wear basketball shorts around. That's not good. Even though you got
don't do that.
it's not good. All right, Jim. What else?
Hey, man, I was just checking. Tell them I'm gonna get down and get my tickets, man. I really wanted to talk to Harry the Greek and them, but you didn't answer no phone calls earlier.
Well, what do you have to ask Harry the Greek about his Super Bowl pick or what? What do you got?
I wanted to ask Harry the Greek about what he thought about Levante David coming back.
You know what? Our guy here is versatile. Let me go out to you, Shooter. What do you think about Levante David? And I'll throw this out there. It looked like after they beat the Carolina Panthers that he was going to retire. But he had some comments lately, and it certainly seems like there could be some unfinished business with Levante David. So where do you stand Jim, thanks a lot for the call. Listen to his response. All right, my friend? Use the second call.
Sir.
All right, good stuff. Levante David coming back. It certainly seems like he has some unfinished business. 36, 37 years old. Where do you stand on him? Do you think he comes back? Should he come back? Should he retire? In your opinion, you're a football guy.
So Levante David's earned the right to come back if he wants to. He seems to have lost a step. So I think they got to figure out, the coaching staff, what that looks like. Is it a rotation? Are they going to draft his replacement? And hopefully he's going to be an on the field, coach and mentor for him. But to me, he's in the same book as Derek Brooks. Like, this is the guy that's earned the chance to go out when he wants to go out. So if he wants to come back, I invite him back to play, but with the cautiousness of, hey, we need to win games, right? You're going to be a step slower. You're a year older. And everyone's got to be on the same page of like, hey, if you're not cutting it, playing time's going to go down, but he's earned that opportunity to keep that job.
Where did you stand on Todd Bowles? Because a lot of the fan base wanted Todd Bowles fired first and foremost. Are you one of those people that thought that Todd Bowles should be fired? Were you surprised that the Glazers didn't make the move? Where do you stand on Todd Bowles as a coach for the Bucs?
The best teams in the league keep their coaches and they give them a chance to succeed. So Bowles, like you said, he's been successful, right? They were winning the NFC South. So I'm fine with him staying for another year. Obviously, defense needs to tighten up if that's going to be his side of the business here. But one bad season, you should give the guy another chance. So I'm fine with that. And then the other thing, and I think you've talked about this on your show, is like, all right, you get rid of him. What are you going to get? You're going to bring in Mike McDaniels to be the head coach. And like, who were the best coaches that were out there? Jim Harbaugh. I follow the Ravens pretty closely because I used to live up there, and he's not a great coach. Like, they wanted to get rid of him. All the talent that they had for the last 10 plus years, there's one Super Bowl out of it. So careful what you wish for when you're, have these coaches and you're shooing them out of town. But that said, like, his defense needs to be better. Defense is his forte, and the defense just wasn't there last year. But I believe him when he said, like, towards the end of the season, he was starting to call out his team about, like, they're coaching the guys. They're just not executing on Sundays. So I believe him on that. So I think he's got another year, and I think that's fair. And again, look at the consistency of, I know they both let go of their coaches this season, but Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, these teams that keep their coaches and have some consistency, those are your perennial winners, where they're making the playoffs every year. And then you have a real problem where, hey, we're making the playoffs every year, but we're not winning the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly, which is a lot of and I always go back to this. Fans wanted Tony Dungy out because he couldn't get over the top. You get John Gruden, you win a Super Bowl, and then after Gruden, you want Gruden fired because he doesn't win you another Super Bowl, doesn't win you another division, doesn't win you another playoff game. You have him fired, and then after that, you have to go back to the doldrums. And I'm worried about going to the doldrums. I don't think this team is mediocre. They got to make some fixes. They got to make some moves. It's desperation time, but I'm not ready to reset, clean house, because I just feel like Bucs fans want to do that. And I always call out Bucs fans, and I call out, this one fan who's a big-time Bolts fan, and I tell him, as much as he wanted Todd Bowles fired, he would also want John Cooper fired, especially when Cooper was swept in the first round. So again, it's crazy for me sometimes the way fans think. I love you guys. I love you Tampa Bay sports fans, whether it's the Lightning, the Bucs, the Rays. But sometimes you got to put the emotion aside. You got to look at the big picture. Now, with this big picture and talking about defense, Victor Hedman, I look at a lot of Lightning fans. They say he's lost a step. They're not big-time Hedman fans. They want to trade him. Where do you stand on Hedman? Because it seems like, the same criticism of Todd Bowles, I see the same thing on Lightning, fan sites here on Facebook when it comes to Hedman.
Yeah, I mean, Victor Hedman's, he's getting up there, right? And they have him under contract still for a while. They played very well with a bunch of younger guys as his replacement. He's back now. He's not at full speed. The Stadium Series game on Sunday was his first game back. He's going to be the captain. I think he's the captain of Team Sweden. for the Olympics. So he's going to be right back into competitive play for the next 2 weeks, which is good for him and for the Lightning, because when he comes back, they basically have this like stretch where it's a marathon till the end. Because they had the Olympic break, so they had to squeeze everything in the schedule. So it'll be good for the Lightning because he'll be back up to hopefully, the Hedman of the past that we've seen. But it's also hockey, right? And he's also late 30s. So are you ever going to get the Victor Hedman of 2020 that won the Conn Smythe playoff MVP? Probably not. But that's kind of the good thing about him, getting hurt and getting some of these guys some reps and seeing that, hey, they can play pretty well. And we do have someone that can take over on the power play now with Hedman out. And even with him back in, he's not going to get that power play number 1 spot back. So they're not wrong. Hedman's lost a step. He's still the captain. He's still a big force. He's still an all-star caliber player, but he's just on the downside of his career. He's got a couple good years left, and he is our captain. He's the leader of the team. So I'm still rolling to Lightning games with my Hedman jersey on.
There you go. All right. Panarin, trade rumors today was going to the Bolts. Jay Retcher, former CSB brother right there, doing great things with his podcast. Go like and subscribe to him. But he said it was untrue. Are you surprised that they pulled the trigger on that? But what you come to find out is Panarin wanted LA, didn't want Tampa Bay. They paid him $11 million. So once again, there is actually a salary cap in the NHL, unlike, the NBA and the NFL, as we talk about, and of course, Major League Baseball. So were you surprised that the Lightning were in that? Were they ever in that? And why make that move? Why ruin the chemistry? Because a lot of people say a big name can bring scoring, can bring veteran leadership, maybe put you over the top. But why do you want to ruin the chemistry of this team, Shoot?
Well, yeah, I mean, they don't really need a guy like Panarin, especially the salary that comes along with him. And he also late 30s, right? You're only going to get a couple more years left out of him. And again, he's not the type of player that the Bolts need. If the Bolts make a move at the trade deadline, it's going to be a bottom 6 player, right? It's going to be somebody that's like a gritty player. I'm right had a really good comment. They don't get talked about enough. The third line, when the Lightning were winning those back-to-back cups, we talked about that third line, right? It was Blake Coleman, Tanner Goodrow, forget Goodrow's first name, but and then Yanni Gourde. Well, guess what? Yanni Gourde's back, and he's back on that third line. We got this guy Holmberg from Toronto, a cast off from up there. Perfect on that line. And then we've also got Jurgensen, who used to be a first round pick, but really he's a bottom 6 guy now. So that line is crucial. You've got to have 4 lines that are contributing offensive, defensively. And here's the thing with Panarin. He's an offensive superstar, right? He's like one of those top 10 scoring guys. The Lightning don't really need that. They're already a top offensive team. They need another player that can contribute a little bit offensively, maybe win some faceoffs, especially since we have no centers left. Faceoffs have been kind of a pain point for us, but also keep the other team off the board. Panarin didn't really fit that. I thought that maybe there's some smoke to those rumors or fire to those rumors because Panarin's Russian, and we have 2 of the best Russian players, and I know nothing about like if these guys know each other. I just assume that most of the Russian players in the NHL just kind of know each other based on their background and nationality. So I think that's where that came from. The thing that we kind of talked about tonight is we're happy that he got shipped to the Western Conference, so we don't have to deal with him. It would have been kind of a pain in the rear end if he got shipped down to the Florida Panthers. We wouldn't like that very much.
No, not at all. And of course, they face the Panthers tomorrow night. Are you surprised of how disappointing the Panthers have been? I mean, they've had their fair share of injuries with Barkov, Kachuk here, finally playing games since January 19th. Seth Jones, the face licker there, Brad Marchant. It's nice to see them struggle at this point. So can the Lightning get it done? Can they bury this team? Can this team be buried, dead and gone? Because I'm tired of seeing them in the playoffs. I'm tired of them beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. So can the Lightning put a stake in that team tomorrow night, in your opinion?
Yeah, like tomorrow they have a really good chance to keep them down. So I think they ended up winning the shootout tonight. So they'll get their 2 points. They're in desperation mode. Like they have to start winning now, like today, and they did. So to get them on the tail end of a back-to-back is great, right? They're probably getting on a plane, if not tonight, tomorrow morning, to come up here. We're on fire right now. Sure, we've got players out, but that hasn't stopped us all season. So we talked about, well, do the Lightning hold players out this game, because there's a little rumor that the Panthers are a dirty team. They've knocked out Brandon Hagel the last 3 times they played him. So there's a lot of people that don't want to see Brandon Hagel play tomorrow night. They want the coaches to take him out. You know, he's playing for Team Canada under Cooper. Maybe Cooper keeps him out. I said, no way. There's no way. Brandon Hagel wants to play in that game.
Yeah.
And I think he will. And you know, Cooch is going to go. Bassey's going to go. These guys aren't playing the Olympics. Russia's not in. So the big dogs are going to go. And this is a really, really good chance to just take them down one more notch. Because like I said, you're going to have that sprint to the end. They're going to get a couple more guys back. Injuries have been part of their story. I think we've ended up with more key and more just in general injuries than they have this season. But they started the season with a lot of injuries. They still have arguably their best player, Barkov, out. But I think he'll probably make it back. But it might be too late. They might be out of it. And a lot of that has to do with, I mean, this division that they're in, it ain't the NFC South, right? No. The division that they are in, the Atlantic Division, is ridiculous right now. The Lightning, 18-1-1 in the last 20 games. They're in first place by like 2 points right now. They've got games in hand, which means that we've played less games, so it's a little bit different, right? We're in better shape than it looks as far as points goes. But Detroit, who finally is putting together a full season. They used to play good at the beginning of the season and then just drop off. Marty St. Louis, Montreal Canadiens are right there behind them. And then Boston is really one of the hotter teams in the NHL. I know we beat them, and Florida just beat them. Then you still got Ottawa, Toronto, and Florida, and that's at the bottom of that league. And it's still a very small gap, but the Panthers are way out of it. Toronto's in that same boat. And at some point, they're going to figure out, like, hey, do we need to start selling off players? Because that's just an NHL thing. Once you get to the trade deadline, you're either a buyer or a seller. So we're going to find out here shortly after the Olympics. And, you know, what they've done, they've made 3 straight Stanley Cups. They've done the same thing we did, except they lost the first one. We lost the last one. It's hard to do that. It's really, really hard to do that. So I think it's just kind of all catching up with them. And I really hope they don't make the playoffs. I hope we don't even have to deal with them. Although it would be pretty sweet to beat them on the way to winning another Stanley Cup, which we did in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, it would be. But I wouldn't mind not seeing them in the postseason, because they've given the Lightning so many fits at the end of the day. Shooter, man, I appreciate the time here. Definitely don't be a stranger. We'll get you on here, talk some Lightning hockey, because the webheads, the Tampa Bay sports, you don't spend enough time on the Lightning. I'm like, I need my guy here. I need my Shooter. I need my We the Thunder podcast. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution, my friend.
Yeah, I tell you that, man. I tell you that every time I talk to you. Like, we need some more Lightning, because this is one of the shows I like to watch. I don't always comment, but I love I love the post game shows. I love the halftime updates and stuff during the season. So, but yeah, if you can, please follow us. So we've been doing this show for 5 years now. So we do have a pretty good following, but we don't do a great job promoting ourselves. So we've started to change that. We started to push out little clips from the show. We have really good guests, right? Mentioned Jay was on tonight. Before that, we had Casey Hudson, who actually used to cover the Bucs and the Bolts here in Tampa. She works for NESN, which is
Love Casey. Casey killing it there in Boston. Casey Hudson, absolutely.
So she hasn't forgot about us, right? I told her at the beginning of the season, I was like, hey, keep this date open, because I need you to come tell us about the Boston Bruins before this big game. So we've been really lucky with great guests. Before that, we had JSB, which is Julie Stewart Binks, on, and Julie's actually filling in as the rinkside reporter for Gabby Shirley for Bally's. So Gabby had a baby, so she's out on maternity leave, and JSB has come in and filled in for her, and she's awesome. Like, she's really, really cool. In fact, I was chatting with her this morning. She's left the Lightning to go cover for a Canadian network, the Olympics. She's in Italy right now.
Wow.
So she was a phenomenal guest. We had Greg Wisniewski from ESPN in December. And we've got some stuff in the works for the rest of the season. The other thing that we do is we get an opportunity to give away. We actually made our first shirts this year. So these are our shirts, our logos on the back. It says
Nice.
Freeze the Bay. We've done a couple, like, you know, the Simpsons thing, right? Like Simpsons did it, or the predictions.
Yeah.
Well, we put together, this is like a little patch. Everyone wanted us to sell this as a patch, but I don't know a patch maker. It's the frozen field of Raymond James Stadium, not knowing that it was going to be so freaking cold for this game. So we Simpsons that, and we've actually had a couple cases of predicting some stuff. But we gave out one of these. We're actually going to do another giveaway for a couple of these shirts. So good chance to win, because I think we're going to do like 5 or 6 of them, and some tickets. And if you've never been to a Lightning game, I think we talked about it last time we were on the show with that caller, if they ever come down. We do a lot of ticket giveaways. We both have season tickets, and we both don't go all the games. So if we do give away a lot of our tickets. So our next contest, make sure you follow us, is going to be for some tickets in March, some shirts that we have left over, because we're going to get rid of all of these, and we're going to have a new shirt for the playoffs probably. And we've gotten pretty lucky with the last 2 jersey releases. So we're the only like fan Lightning podcast that I know of. And our friends at Fanatics have sent us jerseys and merchandise to give away. So we actually gave away a Stadium Series jersey, this awesome like hoodie, and we had a watch party where we gave out the rest of that Fanatics stuff. So I think we have another Fanatics giveaway as well. So we love to give away some of this stuff. We actually go and get as many of like the giveaways like they did Thunderbug bobbleheads. A lot of people will take those and sell them online for like $70. No, we give them away to fans that couldn't make it to the game. So we like to be generous about the fandom, because we're fans just like you guys, and we want to help grow the sport in Tampa. And, you know, based on the most watched regular season game in NHL history, you guys are doing a pretty good job. And also, you know, selling out Ray J for a hockey game. Not bad.
Not bad at all, my friend. I tell you right now, Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, if you want it, this is a hockey segment. If you want it's a hockey town, it'll be a hockey segment on the Evolution if you want it, my friend.
Well, we're on at 8. I might as well just keep it rolling.
All right. There you go. 10 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Shooter, Schoolie, Shooter by himself if he wants to, Schoolie, whatever. We the Thunder do some great stuff, man. I'm really proud of you guys. I watch and I'd love to have you here on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, all right, to talk Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, all right?
Let's do it.
All right, there you go. Shooter right there of We the Thunder podcast. Love it, brother. I'll see you soon, all right?
All right. Thanks.
All right. Yep. There you go, right there. So there you see, I give you what you want. You want a Lightning segment? We give you a Lightning segment here on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock. We'll talk Tampa Bay Lightning with that guy, with his co-host, with that podcast, doing big things. And once again, I love the fact that they said, you know what, I'm inspired by the sports web, because that's what it's all about. Like we're in competition, we're doing content here, but this is Tampa Bay sports. We're trying to help each other out, right? We're trying to help each other out, promote each other. He needs help with promotion. I'm definitely going to help promote that podcast, because they do a damn good job, and they got some great fans, great Tampa Bay Lightning fans here. This is definitely a hockey town. But we'll get back to talking Bucs football with you. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So I'll get to these comments. I know I've been kind of neglecting you guys. Sometimes that happens when we get guests in here, but you know, we're just rolling. We can't ruin the flow there, but I love the phone calls, love the interaction. So we'll get to that. Again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. So let's go ahead and read some of these. Let's see. Bull said at one of his interviews, we just did the same thing as we did last year because it worked. Everyone was blowing coverage last year. Agree with that. We definitely need to draft a quarterback no matter what. Baker needs that young gun breathing down his neck to challenge him. Teddy and Trask weren't going to do that. Laugh out loud. We better get some corners. I think they're set, Russ, at corner. I think you're going to go with Zion McCollum, Benjamin Morrison, and, of course, the young kid there and Jacob Parrish. More than likely, they move on from Jamel Dean because he's a free agent. And once again, it's all predicated on what? Pass pressure. You get pressure on the quarterback. That takes the pressure off of your linebackers. It takes the pressure off of your back end and your safeties and your corner. So I definitely think you're set there. They may draft a corner in the later rounds, just knowing Light. He would do that. Why would Light trade Godwin for Crosby and lose all loyalty with the players and definitely lose Evans too? I don't know. It's been talked about. Again, we had Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, come on the show, throw it out there. First round pick, Jalen McMillan. Would you trade a McMillan? I know you have Godwin and Evans, but McMillan, very young player, up and coming. I don't know what you're going to do, but I just never rule out Jason Light making this thing happen. I never rule them out over there. Because when you rule them out, then that's when you look an idiot. And I think desperate times call for desperate measures. And for me, getting rid of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are not the way. It's not. That is not the way to improve your team. I get it. You're young. You have all kinds of talent at the end of the day, but that's not the way to do it. It's not. And they'll figure out a way. If they want to keep Mike Evans, they will keep Mike Evans. If they want to keep Chris Godwin, they will keep Chris Godwin. They will figure it out. Your team does not improve, although you are flush with a lot of talent when it comes to the wide receiving position. Not only Godwin, Evans, Emeka Buka, Tez Johnson, McMillan, as we talked about. Let's go out to this guy using his second call.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you?
Jim from Ohio, what's on your mind, boss?
Antoine Winfield Jr. won Pro Bowl, defensive player of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, how about that? Did you watch the Pro Bowl? Because I did not.
I did not watch it.
No, I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody did. They should not watch the Pro Bowl at this point.
I had told Scott, because Scott said he still watch it every year. I thought he was going to watch it. He was like, well, you told me not to. I'm like, bro, you can watch it.
I mean, anybody can watch the Pro Bowl. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to watch it with, all the gusto, all the passion that you watch a regular football game. But I guess if you're desperate on a Tuesday night and nothing's on, which right now it's either the NBA or the Pro Bowl, then yeah, I guess you would. All right, what else, my friend?
All right, man. This one, Zakari Richardson got pulled over down your way.
Oh, yeah, see, the speeding. How about that? Amazing, right? Yeah, going 105 and a 65 and then begging to the cop there. I seen that, yeah.
Yeah, 5 point on Mustang, undercover cop.
Yeah, slow down a little bit, you know?
Yeah, you got to do that, bro.
Look both ways when you cross the road. Yeah, you can't be, yeah, exactly. All right, my friend.
All right, man. I just want to call and check in on you. I already got my little questions out the way. I'll call next time.
All right, sounds good.
Calls with your co-host, your main co-host.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, we'll get calls when we get calls here, especially when Harry's on. I know Harry's been sick lately, but we'll take calls. We'll take more calls. I promise you. All right, my friend.
Man, I'll talk to you later.
All right, appreciate you. You gotta turn that phone down, man. I can hear back up. Okay, so let's see here. Chris, because at some point you have to move on anyways, just saying. Brian says, hi, what's going on, Brian? Thank you very much. Tulio says, with that said, Bulls will be fired this time next year. We'll see. Brian says he was a good coach. Russ, I like Tony, saw his wife tonight. Thank you very much for that. That's very cool. No, it wasn't Harry. It was the coach at the time. Team asked the players. Broadway says, I love Coach Tony. You know I'm right. Hey, Peter, what's going on? Thanks for the call again. Let's go out to David. David, thanks for tuning in here on The Evolution. I know you're a big-time Bucs fan. I know you're a big-time Baker Mayfield fan. That's very cool. Regarding the O-line, is anyone else real excited about Chukwuemeka? I think that's his name. The guy hardly knows what football is yet. Still held his own when needed. In my opinion, his ceiling is so high. It is so high. But you have those bookends, right? You have Tristan Wirfs. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He was hurt, banged up. You got Luke Gedeke. He was hurt. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Let's go out to Alex using your second call. What's on your mind tonight, boss?
Hey, one thing I want to say, which, by the way, great show tonight.
Thank you.
Great show.
Thank you.
Great show. And And God bless you and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Hey, talking about the stadium series real quick though.
Yeah.
Can we just kind of like stop for a moment and just look at it and be like, damn. I think that had to have been, if you would have told me this a week ago and I never knew about it, it'd be like a fairy tale. Imagine this. You got Gasparilla the day before.
Yep.
It's cold.
Yep.
You go into Sunday. Since when does Tampa have a high of 45 degrees? We were concerned 3 weeks ago about the ice melting.
Yes.
45 degrees going into a Sunday morning as your high temperature for the day.
Yeah.
Get on the ice. Everything's beautiful. The stadium's beautiful. Sold out 65,000 plus seat at Ray J, plus 10,000 additional people with workers and so much more. You're looking at 75,000 people, I hear, at Ray J on a Sunday night, cold as shit. You get down 5-1 after Brandon Hagel scored I think a second best record or best record stadium series quickest goal
11 seconds
in NHL history.
Yes.
You go down 5-1. You get a goalie fight. You get a goalie fight.
Yep.
Which never happens.
Never.
Oh, it happens, but not like that.
Not like that.
You get a goalie fight. A Vasi of all people. It entirely shifts the entire game.
Yep.
And you score 4 straight. Which, by the way, how bad has the Bolts been on the power play the last 2 seasons? I should have brought this up with Shooter when he was in here. Terrible on the power play. How convenient. The Bolts scored 2 straight power play goals to get down 1, score a third period goal to tie it up. And we taste till the shootout. Listen, Peter. If you're a Tampa Bay fan, like I said earlier, I've been a part of some great sporting events. Super Bowl 50, I was a part of that. I'm sure you were too. Of course,
Absolutely.
You were doing your thing as you always do every year, which you keep up the great work. Dude, I've been a part of some great events, and I'm gonna kind of say what JP Peterson kind of reminded me on his show today. I listen to him every day because I travel. That is just something to be happy for what Tampa did and what Tampa can look forward to in the future. Listen, a lot's going on with baseball right now and the Rays and the new ownership and what's going on with that. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But Tampa Bay is just becoming the spot, man. Tampa Bay is doing some great things. Listen, I know the last few years with the Bucs hasn't been what we all wanted. At the end of the day, we're diehard Bucs fans. We should all be grateful as a community to have the Bucs, year in and year out. They play hard. They're a great organization by great owners. You can say the same thing about the Bolts. And honestly, I think the Rays are going to turn their entire franchise around. New stadium might potentially be happening. Personally, I like it. I think they're going to get it worked out. I think I'm encouraged by what the governor said and MLB commissioner said with that. Listen, Tampa Bay is the spot. And for those, whether we win or we lose, I don't know about you, Peter, but I want to end the show on my end by saying this. I am so freaking grateful to be a Tampa Bay fan and what we do year in and year out and what's for the future of the Bay Area in the sports world is absolutely amazing. You got one of the best hockey teams out there right now on 18. I think it's an 18-1, 18-2 stretch.
Yeah.
Playing lights out hockey year in and year out. Jeff Vinik works his ass off. You know what? People don't know this. It's because of great owners like Jeff Vinik why the stadium series even happened.
Yes.
I mean, listen,
Yes.
Peter, I don't know about you, buddy, but I just want to end the show by some encouragement. Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm grateful to be a Tampa Bay fan. Go Rays, go Bucs, go Bolts. And listen, I'm looking forward to some great seasons ahead. I'm looking for baseball. We're under 2 weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting. Not sure what's going to happen with the Rays this season. But I don't know about
I can tell you this. We're going to bring back Al Bushman. Al Bushman contacted me today. We're going to bring our baseball guy back. We're going to have some baseball talk here on the show. So again, it's not going to just be Bucs.
Peter,
yes.
Keep up the great work, man.
Thank you, sir.
I know I bust your balls a lot, but listen, great work. Keep up the great work with all your sports. We got a lot of things coming up this year. 2026 is looking like a great year. Listen, I think you're going to get a red hot Bolts team going into the playoffs in a couple months in April when we wrap up the season. That's going to be looking something to look forward to.
Yes.
The Rays, hopefully the Rays can turn on the franchise, new ownership, and Ken Babby talking daily about how he wants to, even just right now, if we're talking about the stadium, he's talking about right now how we can bring fans back up the market, help these fans, bring these fans back into the stadium. And of course, you're going to look at the Bucs. The Bucs are going to come back next year. Hopefully we get some good news on Mike Evans maybe coming back and keep this thing going. So, hey, listen, long story short, I'm going to get out of here, but listen, I don't know about y'all.
You got this team too, by the way. You got the Bulls.
Damn it, I love being a Tampa Bay
you got the
fan,
Bulls
so.
too, my friend. I appreciate you as always. Yes, go Bulls.
Always forget about the Bulls.
Yes, don't forget about the Bulls. Brian Hartline, Derek Brooks over there doing great things.
Yes. How about that? How about that last year with Derek Brooks, a Bucs legend?
Yes,
getting involved in the community.
We're gonna get him on the sports web. I've been told, so we're working on that.
You're doing some great things. Listen, I love our Tampa Bay community. Peter, you know me very well. I love our community, and I love our Tampa Bay sports. And it's a great time to be a Tampa Bay sports fan, and it's going to be a great year. So,
listen, my friend,
keep up the good work for all the levels out there. Be encouraged, like and subscribe, and follow Peter H. Flake, the best freaking Tampa Bay sports legend out there, in my opinion.
Wow.
And
thank you.
And much love, you guys.
All right, man. Your check is in the mail. I love it. Appreciate it.
No, actually, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to be running you a check pretty soon, $1,000.
All right.
I'll make you a deal. I told you, I'll make you a deal. As soon as I see that shovel hit that dirt, you got $1,000 split.
Sounds good, my friend. There you go. Good stuff. Alex using the second call. We'll go out to the comments and we'll get out of here for the night. Great stuff there. Love that. Love that guy. He trolls me sometimes, but he means well, and he's been with us for a long time. Being one of those web heads. I mean, again, the lifeblood of what this show is. Whether you're a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, whether you just discover this show, this is what it's all about. It's about the Tampa Bay sports fan calling in, voicing your opinion, saying what's on your mind. We do a commercial free. I have a couple commercials here and there. I'd like to work on that. I'd like to put some more money into this show, get some sponsors. I'd like to do more of that. I think we've done pretty well for ourselves. I really do. Tony did a great job with Indy. He did. Absolutely. Gruden took us to that Super Bowl and ruled it. He also got us past the Eagles, period. Absolutely. Russ says the Colts played both sides of the ball, too. Greg says the quarterback that won the damn Super Bowl, that's who he developed, says Greg Cole. Max Crosby can be our defensive Ryan Jensen. We have to go make that move. Then draft Cassius Howe. Daniel Jeremiah has put a mock at draft for the Bucs at 15 from Texas A&M, or 3 from Miami, the DE there. That would set our D line up real nice going into the season. I like that move. Brad Johnson was terrific. Russ says John Gruden was on the sidelines at the bunch of games last year. That he was. For me, whether or not Bowles earned the job or not is irrelevant. What we see on game day from his defense, he's a defensive coach. It's what frustrates me. Fair enough. Can't stop any offense on 3rd and 4th down. All the draft picks that didn't pan out, and this nonchalant attitude every week about it is what rubs fans the wrong way. Russ says, put him in the office. Chris Cole, Godwin has turned down a lot of money to stay, of course, with the New England Patriots. Greg says Gannon was also for sure. So there you go, Harry. Brad Johnson was developed to play his system, is what I'm saying. Come on, man. I love you, Harry, but understand the Gruden Bucs won that Super Bowl, not the Dungy Bucs. No disrespect to Dungy at all. Bucs fan and only Bucs since 1976. I have much love and respect for Dungy. Love it. Absolutely love it. Fire the cannons.
it!
All right, Greg, appreciate the comments there. That's why players should never show loyalty to teams. Loyalty to teams, always go get your money, no matter what, because when it's time to trade or cut front offices, don't think twice. Very true. But and going back to the money aspect, Evans has made $151 million in his lifetime. So he's good with money. Not saying you can't earn money, not saying you don't have to provide for your family, but he's got some generational wealth. You know, this comes down to what his mindset is. Does he think the Bucs are still a playoff contender? Does he think the Bucs are still an NFC South contender to win that division? Does he think the Bucs can get past the first round and get into the Super Bowl and are a Super Bowl contender? And again, I always go back to this. You know, you look at it from the standpoint of did the Bucs organization make it enough of an impression on him by getting him that 1,000-yard record, which means a lot to some players. Because I know Evans makes an impression on fans, makes an impression on the organization by always restructuring his contract. So does Evans take that into account when making this decision when it comes to free agency? Does he even get to free agency? Jason Light signed him in the first place. I agree with Harry for sure that people need to get off the fire Bulls crap for sure. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Brady is arguably the best football player of all time. Greg Cole says, Brady, not in the first ballot. Wow. Yeah, that's been talked about. Trust me, Tony Dungy's conservative control of the offense is what got him fired, Greek. Very true. Not Jimmy Johnson, Peter. We were trying to get Bill Parcells. No. The first time they got Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy was the third choice. You can look this up. The first two choices were Jimmy Johnson and Steve Spurrier. Third choice was Tony Dungy. True story. You're thinking of Bill Parcells in 1991, 1992. Now, I know my Bucs now, Derek. I'm right. I know my Bucs. Fire Bowl says Van House Life. Roger Shue, hey, gentlemen, great show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Acknowledge me.
Van House Live, Todd Bowles or Mike Evans. Peter, who you keeping if you have to pick one or the other to stay or leave? Not answering, don't care. This is what happens when they choose Bad Bunny over hip-hop culture. We are owed like 10 Super Bowls in a row. Anyways, Jay-Z knows better. Every other genre had 58 Super Bowls to perform. Broadway says, Pete, I can co-host if you need help. Laugh out loud. Bella Bell. King Cook, where you at? That joke was for you guys. Bell, there you go. Not VH3 and JTS. Yeah.
This guy sucks.
All right, guys, we're going to have to lose someone. This will not be a perfect scenario to get better. This is just how it goes. Maybe. Does Baker even have cachet to convince Mike to stay? Definitely think he does. As well as, when draft day comes, we think the Bucs go right and they always go left. We the Thunder, no rush. I'm watching hockey. Good stuff. Tom Banner. I flew out of O'Hare Saturday and it was colder here. There you go. If anybody thinks the Patriots are going to lose the Super Bowl with the way the NFL has been on Kraft and Belichick, you are bugging. Vrabel will have those boys juiced and ready to play. Absolutely correct. There was the other report out there. Max Crosby would like to play for the Patriots and Mike Vrabel. I cannot say his name for some reason. Vrabel. I'm not going to even try at this point. Coach V. It's also back too many laughs. Will you make it hit the dead end? Unfortunately, Harry Bella Bell says that was meant to say too many lefts. Have a good night, Harry. Let's go out to King Cook. Facts, Bell, too many left for 5 straight years. Laugh out loud. I'm right. Greek acting like he knows squat about the NHL is pathetic. Yeah, too many left. Turnovers. First of all, we love the Lightning. We love the fact that they still make us feel like a winning city. Ryan says, seriously regret not spending the money to go to this game. King Cook, we just need to wear the white creamsicles more, get the wins up in those, and then go back to the orange creamsicle. Laugh out loud. Bella Bell. King, I'm trying to get the team to switch to blood orange because they're pirates after all. Let's go out to Ryan. No one was as cool or had as much of a dripping, oozing off of them as Coop and the rest of the coaching staff while smoking cigars. So cool, right? That was such a cool moment. So much stuff going on there. You just got to love that. Bell, that would be fire. Bell again, think of it this way. Hopefully the Lightning have broken the creamsicle. Really curse by winning. Ryan says the man was not going to allow this team to lose 5-1 like that, not while he was dressed like that. Agree. Oh, if we redid the Color Rush's uniforms from the Jameis era, the red on red would be fire too. A lot of people like that. I liked it too. I didn't like the alarm clock, but I liked the red on red. That was cool. King would be so fire to have blood orange uniforms. What the F are they waiting for? King Cook, I didn't even know the Lightning beat the Bruins, though. That's why my Boston homies were quiet this week. Laugh out loud. Yeah, they were quiet. Nah, the creamsicle curse hasn't been broken. The Lightning didn't even do a creamsicle version of their own unis. Pre-game does not count. Laugh out loud. It does count. Come on now. Damn, I was hopeful. King Cook, facts, I agree. I wouldn't even be made to see a black helmet or red helmet thrown in the mix. Anthony says, Justin, Boston Bruins lose again in the same week by way of shootout, both by Florida teams. You got to love that. What does Tom Brady think about that?
That's good enough to suck right there.
There you go. Mad King Cook. Again, I'm watching the Lightning highlights now. This game is crazy. Great comeback win. Absolutely. The Lightning strikes, they keep coming. Gotta love that. I hope you guys are awake now. We're about to wrap this show up. I'm a Carolina Hurricanes fan, though, but good game. King again, to keep it all real, Tampa Bay sports shouldn't have their own creamsicle version, or should have their own creamsicle version uniform to pay homage to the OG Tampa team. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Fire the cannon.
Go Bucs.
Yeah!
Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, Todd.
We got the job, baby.
Yeah, sometimes you do. Yeah. There you go, right there. Let's see. Follow We the Thunder right there. There's your follow. I'm definitely be going to a Bucs Ravens game this year in Baltimore. Brandon says, Peter H. Blake, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you.
Hump day.
It is a hump day, my favorite day of the week. Bucs need a Cooch type of player, not by size, but attitude. Definitely think Baker Mayfield would be that guy.
Wait up, little boy.
Baker Mayfield.
Shake and bake.
Yes, Panthers need to go big time run to get back to the race. Great show, Peter. Thank you, Brightside Broadway. I know you tried to call in. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you for calling in. Thank you, We the Thunder. Thanks, everyone. Sports Web for life. Again, 10 o'clock, Wednesday nights, Tampa Bay Lightning segment hockey right there. We the Thunder. Get hit. All right, let's go out to King Cook. No, J-Mac does not need to be traded. He is our future. King again. Do we really count AWJ defensive MVP in the Pro Bowl as a real achievement? Laugh out loud. I guess you don't. I guess it was a good thing to talk about because there's nothing else to talk about with that Pro Bowl. I didn't watch it. I don't think anybody watched it. I think they need to just overhaul the whole process at this point. That's a real question. Why doesn't J-Mac get the appreciation he deserves from the lots of places I'm not saying here, but I think you definitely don't want to lose him. He is the future. Real talk, J-Mac cannot get traded. Him, Emeka are going to be great 1-2 punch. Bell says exactly, don't throw away the future of the team. The future is now. We the Thunder, by the way, the clips of Tez and Godwin on the glass at the Stadium Series game were so good. Agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta love Tez Johnson. He's full of energy. Tampa Bay, a trifecta city, winning at all levels, complimentary winning, laugh out loud. Why can't Bucs fans show up like that instead of selling their tickets to opposing team fans? Let the truth set you free. Peter brings the fire. We definitely try to do that.
Yes!
Bro. Appreciate you.
Yes!
Let's see here. Chris, that's just a Tampa thing. Same for all sports. We the Thunder. The problem is you can't control who you sell to. You post my Bolts tickets right now. I have no clue if the Panthers fan will scoop them up for tomorrow's game. Let's go out to Brightside Broadway. I watched my first hockey game last weekend. It was a good game. Broadway again. I'm so tired of fire Todd Bowles every week. He is a great coach. King Cook. I'm watching NFL Throwback. They just dropped the top 60 all-time Super Bowl plays, and there is number 12. No Bucs plays so far. That's cap. Agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
And let's go fire the cannons. Good night, Peter. Good night to you.
Fire the cannon.
So we'll wrap it up right there. Thanks a lot to all the guests of the night. Mr. Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, and, of course, Shooter from We the Thunder podcast. Guys, we'll be back on Monday unless there is some breaking news, but enjoy Super Bowl 60. between the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots on Sunday. We'll come back on Monday night, recap it, talk about the Bucs, talk about the Lightning, and talk about the Rays right around the corner. We got L. Bushman chopping at the bit to get back on the evolution of sports talk television. Once again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake, and do 3 things as we're keep it down. The roommates are in the building. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of sports talk television. And as we always say on this show to end it off, go Bucs.